What up?
What's
This is
good?
Hip Hop Talks. AG, my man.
Good to see you, Coop.
I wish I could see you. Who is that on your shirt? Is that Dion?
Yeah, it's prime time, man. Draft. This
Uh,
is prime time on his draft day.
oh, is that what we're gonna talk about?
Yeah, we'll get into that.
We definitely need to get into that. Make sure you click like, share, and subscribe to the page. Sean is back around the block, but not quite. Back with us on the front scenes of the show. He appreciates all the love and support. Appreciate y'all sending him all the love and support. We're going to proceed on. So, AG, NBA playoffs. Or actually, I'm sorry, AG, bar seminar. Your bar
Oh,
seminar.
okay. Yeah. For my bar seminar, I picked. I've been in my Prodigy bag lately, man. Been listening to a lot of Prodigy, with the infamous anniversary, and we'll get to this later about the Capital Punishment anniversary. So I chose Tres Leches off of Capital Punishment, the Triborough trilogy with featuring Inspector Deck and Prodigy, by Big Pun. And actually it's one of my favorite records on the album. And that verse in particular, Prodigy did his thing, but I remember when that came out in real time in '98, I was just mad hyped to hear Prodigy over a RZA beat. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I chose that one.
Okay. Well, my bar seminar was Ghostface Killer on Fourth Chamber. I've been in my Liquid Swords bag lately this year. It seems like every year, like a classic album comes out. A classic album comes back in my mind, and I play it a lot. And I think that's been Liquid Swords this year. And for me, I know he's the co-star on Only Built for Human Links, but for me, the verse on Fourth Chamber is really like the Ghostface Killer coming out party. And so that's why
Correct.
it was my bar seminar. And it actually played literally today while I was out running my errands, and I hadn't really picked my bar seminar yet. And I was like, you want to know what? I'm like, that shit right there. Because that's actually, I think that might be, that's my favorite Ghost, like little bar couplet. Why is the sky blue? Why
Yeah.
is water wet? Why
Why
did
they
Judas
do this? Grab the
grab the
Romans
Roman?
while Jesus slept.
It's like,
Yeah.
you have to understand, it's 1995. Rappers weren't talking like that. So that was my bar seminar.
Well,
Shout
it's
out to Go.
interesting that you picked that, Coop, because it's interesting that you said what you said about Cuban Link, because I might mess around and put that Ghost verse over any of his other verses on Cuban Link.
It might be better than those verses. That's what I mean about him being his
Yeah,
coming out party, because it's like, I love Ghost on the Purple Tape, and he has a lot of scene stealing moments, but he's not a better rapper than Ray on the Purple Tape. And on Liquid Swords, you hear somebody that's capable of being better than Ray. That and the verse on Investigative Reports. So
mm-hmm.
yeah, I definitely am a fan of that. Now on to NBA playoffs. AG, you a LeBron fan? Happened to your boy. Boom, boom, boom. What happened to that boy?
You want to know what's funny? I actually am a LeBron fan, but I get called a LeBron hater because I just, I don't think it's any debate on who the GOAT is. That's Michael, Jeffrey, Jordan all day, every day. So the people that do in my inner circle that do consider LeBron the GOAT, or really rock with LeBron, call me a LeBron hater. But I'm a fan, but I'm not surprised that they went home last night. They're playing a team that was way more hungry, was better coached, because let's be honest, you can't keep 40-year-olds out on the floor for 48 minutes. You know what I'm saying? That's just not gonna get the job done. They were outsized, on the rebounding and all that. I just think, I'm not surprised that, I think the Lakers had a lot of people fooled because they climbed to a 3 seed, once they got Luka. But I think that was fool's gold in a lot of ways. I didn't have them getting put out this first, huh?
Well, difference between 3 and 8, I think, was like a game and a half or something. So it's
True.
not like they were leaps and bounds better than.
That's true. The West was really tight, but my whole thing was, I think people really bought into that notion that they was going to go far, but I didn't have them going past the second round, especially if they ran into Golden State or whatever. So But yeah, I'm not surprised. I am surprised that the Timberwolves dominated like they did and closed them out 4-1. I will say that.
Mm-hmm. I know Shannon Sharp won't be at any Lakers game, even if they will make the playoffs.
I mean, he was right. Lakers in 5, but they lost in 5.
He need to be more worried about the prosecutor giving 3 to 5. That's what he
No
needs
doubt.
to do.
Yo, what's your thought on Halliburton's dad and Giannis? That whole thing.
I think emotions run high. Two Midwestern cities, two small market teams, very, very prideful organizations, prideful towns, prideful players. Parents need to stay the hell out of the way. I learned that early on. My daughter was in a USTA tennis academy when she was younger. And, one day the coach, after one of the sessions, was like, hey, like, you're kind of paying for me to coach. So, be the parent now instead of the coach. Like, he's kind of like, your days of coaching her in tennis are done. Like, you've already coached her to this point. Like, you bought her here because she had some talent.
Right.
And so from that point, I kind of understood that was his way of saying, you're the parent now. Stay the hell out of the way. And so the dad is the one who's really wrong, because it's like, you're the parent. You really don't have any involvement except for the attachment of the fact that you're the parent. So you need to be playing the back, not the front, for any reason. You can be the agent. You still need to be playing the back.
No doubt. Who do you got coming out of each conference to the finals?
I honestly think AG. Cleveland looks great to me. And yes. I think Donovan Mitchell can possibly cancel out a Jason Tatum or a Jaylen Brown. And they have
Donovan's better than Tatum.
I don't think he's better than Tatum, but I think in a series, in a vacuum, he can get hot in a way that maybe Tatum can't. And that's saying a lot, because I think Tatum, it's crazy to say this for somebody that's made like first team All NBA the last 3 years, even though I don't think he should have made it over KD last year. KD had better numbers across the board, literally across the board in every metric except for like the team numbers. But I do think that in a series, Donovan Mitchell can get like hot and go for 40 like 3, 4, 5 games. And I think he does, like, matchup wise. He is one of those people that gives Drew Holiday problems, gives Derek White's problems, because he's so twitchy fast.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets streaky hot, it's over, AG. Like, when he gets streaky hot, it's over. It's like he's one of those guys, it's like it's usually either 30 or 45 and up. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's going to get you to 25 to 30. If he gets past 30, it's like he usually keeps going. It's usually like 45, 50.
Right.
Yeah, he don't have a lot of 35 to 40 point games. It's usually like Donovan Mitchell scored 47. It's like, oh, shit.
Yeah. I mean, I never really bought into the Tatum hype like that. Me and my cousin argued all the time, because I always thought, I never bought into it. I thought him and Jaylen Brown are like closer than what people really like to give credit for. You know what I'm saying? And I think that showed last year in the NBA Finals with Brown getting the MVP. But as far as Donovan goes, I think it was one of the shows early on when the season just started, and I picked Cleveland to come out of the East. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they look good back in the early part of the season, so I'm still picking them to come out of the East, beat the Celtics and all that. But the West, I'm gonna say it, man. Like I think Steph got a good chance to win him another one.
Only thing Steph is getting is his ass whooped in the next round, and that's if he makes it out of this round.
You think so?
Like, I mean, here's what I think, and I honestly do think this. People keep saying that, Ant is kind of like Mike, and it's like, no, he's actually closer to Kobe, though.
I can see that.
He's not Mike's level, but his trajectory and actually his career path and the way that it's gone is very much Kobe-like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's because here's where it's Kobe-like. Like, Mike didn't have teams good enough that it was going to be a good chance that he was going to beat his rivals that he idolized. You know what I'm saying? Like, his team, those Bulls teams weren't good enough to beat a Dr. J, a Magic, or a Bird, or Kareem's teams. You know what I'm saying? So Ant has the type of team that's good enough to beat legendary player teams, but this is what I mean. This is cyclical. No. Kevin Durant, like in a 3-year stretch, beat Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like this happens, and so it's his turn right now. And I really do think that whoever Minnesota plays in the next series, I actually favor Minnesota to beat them. Randall's healthy and playing well. They're large, they're athletic, they're streaky. When they don't shoot well, they lock up defensively like they did the other night. They're pretty great. Like, they made Rudy Gobert look better than he did, but
He had
Minnesota's
a hell of a game last
yeah,
night.
he did. That was kind of that was more arbitrary and more of an anomaly than something that's going to be the norm. But as far as like they go, I think they win their next round and find themselves right back in the Western Conference Finals again. And Ant is the type of player that can go Kobe a series like Kobe did against the Spurs one time and literally average like 40 points for a Western Conference Finals and get a team to the finals.
Yeah. That I like how they look. But man, and the Denver Clippers series is real good. But I think I don't know. I'm just putting a lot of stock in Steph. But playing devil's advocate, let's say Steph does win another one. What does that conversation look like if he gets him a 5th ring and wins MVP? What does that change up in the scope of top 5, top 10 GOAT conversations?
I mean, AG, I like that we're hypothetically having this conversation, but it won't be happening.
You don't think?
It's not even a chance.
Okay.
I think they need to be. I think they need to be happy that they're getting out of this round and that they got the youngest, most inexperienced team in the playoffs possible. I think they need to be very, very happy and fortunate about that. And if you just look at them, if you look at what they are versus what Minnesota is, it's like, tell me Minnesota doesn't dominate them athletically and on the glass. And who do they have that even can remotely? And who do they have that can even keep Ant from like going under 35 regularly? Like Ant's just gonna push those guys
If
around.
Jimmy was a little bit younger, he might could, but
Jimmy's too small for Ant. I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't seen too many guys body with LeBron.
ain't too many.
He's big enough and strong enough. Like he's not stronger than LeBron, and he said he's like, I'm not stronger than him. It's like, well, we all know that. That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? But
I mean, I've only seen a couple. Melo, Paul Pierce. You know
that's
what
I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's strong enough to put a body on LeBron and go body to body LeBron. And so the Warriors have absolutely no answer for him. They in trouble if they get man. Yeah, better be happy you got Houston, and don't be surprised if Houston takes us to a Game 7 back in Houston. Don't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Don't be surprised. All right, we're going to move to a little NFL draft, which is why I'm sure you are wearing this shirt. We got Ill Magic with the $4.99 super chat. Did y'all hear JID's new song? Did y'all hear some of Pusha T's flows on there? I haven't heard it. Have you heard the new Pusha T flows?
I have not heard for it. I have to
JID
check.
song? No.
Yeah, I got to check for that. Thank you.
Ill Magic with the Ill Bomb. I'll be checking that out after the show.
Yep.
Okay, AG, NFL draft. I'm going to let you take it away. You're the one wearing the Primetime Dion shirt. I'm going to piggyback and echo off some of your sentiments.
I'm a Raiders fan though, first and foremost, and I like our pick. JT out of.
Nobody asked you about your pick. Nobody asked you about your team.
Yeah, but we're gonna be all right. We got us a good pick.
Team,
got us a good running back out of Boise State.
You can have the best running back in football. You got the best tight end in football. Who's your quarterback?
We got Geno Smith. That's West Virginia's finest. WVU.
Okay. The defense rest. You don't have a quarterback.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? With Pete Carroll, our offense is gonna be straight. It's gonna be straight. But I like our pick because we needed to fill that running back slot, you know what I'm saying, after we lost Josh Jacobs. So I like our pick. But what, surrounded the talk of the draft outside of like Travis Hunter and all that stuff was Deion's son, Shador. And I can't say anything else other than the fact that homie was blackballed, man. It was really like nasty work, but There's a lot of different factors that went into that. You know what I'm saying? Different meetings that he had with teams, turned the teams off. You know, Dion telling different organizations who we would and who we wouldn't play for, that sort of thing. And a lot of teams, you know, especially if you're going to be a backup and not a starter, they just like, yo, we don't need you. We can do without you. And then it got really nasty with the prank phone call, um, you know, from the defensive coordinator's son from the Falcons, which was even more ironic because Dion's best years were with the Falcons, you know. But
I don't
I
know if
heard
his best
yesterday,
years were with the Falcons.
well, I think so, but he got fined though. The defense coordinator got fined, I think $100K, and then the organization got fined, I think $250K for that incident. Which,
See,
you know,
we need to adopt some Singapore laws and hand out some lashes and ass whoopings. You know what I'm saying? Be like, yes, it'll be a $500,000 fine and the whooping of that ass with a bamboo stick.
yeah, because I mean that was supposed to be secure information. That was supposed to be a secure number, and then he got it, you know, from
Yeah.
information from his pops, and then y'all saw what happened online. So that was nasty work. But Cleveland picking up Shador was kind of wild to me because they got like 4 or 5 quarterbacks now. I was surprised that Pittsburgh didn't take him. I thought Pittsburgh would have been a good fit for him.
You know, here's what I will tell you, AG. First of all, I always like to look at it from a football perspective. Who do you think his comp is? Like, you know, they usually do like a low and a high. Like, what do you think his ceiling is? Like, who do you think his ceiling is as a quarterback?
I mean, you're going to laugh when I say this, but I wouldn't have minded picking him up as a backup for Geno because I think style-wise, Geno could have taught him a lot. And I think somebody like a Geno Smith, when they were in their prime, would be his ceiling.
Okay, so what do you think his floor is? Like, what do you think? What do you think his like floor is? Like Tim Couch?
Yeah, I mean, at best, a solid backup. You know, and that's what he's going to be now. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to start. I don't think he would have started anywhere in particular if he would have went, you know, to another team. But I think that he will be a solid backup for somebody, but only time will tell, you know, if he ever moves into that starting role.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, AG. This guy never really had an offensive line while he was in college.
Not particularly, not a strong offensive line, but you know, he doesn't deserve to go 5th round. But even before the draft started, his projections were slipping to 2nd and 3rd round because it was more hype and talk around him than what he was actually showing and proving, you know, because of Dion. You know, Dion was very LeVar Ballish, you know, as far as like promoting his son, as he should. But, you know, I don't think he's right now. I give it a few years, but he's not like a starter, you know, quarterback that'll really make a difference for a franchise. He'll be a solid backup for somebody, though, for sure.
I was bringing up the fact that he never had an offensive line, AG, because, well, you know, he has the best completion percentage in FCS history. And
Yeah,
so
he's a great pocket passer.
well, I say to myself, somebody that didn't have much of a pocket that has the highest completion percentage in history means he has the thing that matters most about being a quarterback in the NFL, which is accuracy.
That's true.
Like, okay, let's go through the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Tom Brady. Does Tom Brady have a top 5 arm?
No, hell no.
Does Peyton Manning have a top 5 arm?
To me, yes.
I don't think so.
I
You
love
think Joe
Peyton Manning.
Montana has a top 5 arm?
Who? I'm sorry, I didn't hear
Joe
you.
Montana? Joe
Oh, of
Montana?
course. I think Joe did.
Arm? Joe Montana
Yeah,
didn't have a great arm, AG.
I
Like
think he
I mean,
did,
like
man.
strength of arm, like I'm talking about like a
Like
Brett
you talking
Favre,
about
like where you
airing
can
it out, like.
like I'm talking about where you got an arm. Yeah, like Tom Brady has an arm. Tom Brady can throw
Okay,
the
so
ball
you
50
talking about
yards.
like prime Aaron Rodgers, like that level.
Yeah, it's like Aaron Rodgers, Patrick
Okay.
Mahomes, Josh Allen, that type of throwing of the
No,
ball.
they didn't have that. They didn't have that level arm.
Okay,
No.
they're probably the 3 greatest quarterbacks of all time. That's what I'm saying. That doesn't matter. Like if you're accurate, those 3 guys are accurate.
Yeah.
Like they place the ball where it's supposed to go. He does that. And it's the fact that nobody's talking about that makes me feel like something going on. All the other stuff I can deal with. It's the fact that the attribute that the NFL actually values most at the quarterback position is a capability that he has, and it wasn't highlighted, brought up, projected, nor was it really projected that he did it without an offensive line. And so, what I actually think his ceiling is, AG, wait for this. I think his ceiling is actually Troy Aikman. See, Troy Aikman wasn't really that athletic, and he didn't have the strongest arm, and he wasn't the fleetest of foot. But when Troy Aikman got a pocket, oh, he was lethal. And
That's
his
a high ceiling, but it's all about who you surround him with, right?
correct, because Troy Aikman was surrounded with the right people. But what I'm saying is that, oh no, he had the talent to make it work. Like, he
Mm-hmm.
had the arm accuracy to make it work. He was accurate when he was at UCLA. Like, that was
Yeah.
what he was known for. That's what was highlighted. Jimmy Johnson built a system that worked around the fact that he was accurate. That's why they really, like, people forget that Cowboys team didn't really go deep like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was Jay Novacek here. It was Michael Irvin in the slot. It's like they took their shot. They took about 2 to 5 deep shots a game, maybe. They didn't air
Yeah.
it out like that. Yeah.
No, that's fair. And then same thing with Brady and the Patriots. He would 6 and 8 yard pass you to death down the field, but he'd move them chains though.
Well, he didn't have Randy Moss. It's like when he got Randy Moss, it's like all that changed. But I do hear what you're saying.
But he didn't win it that year. So
right, correct. That's what I'm saying. It's like, so the stuff that
yeah.
they're getting on him about, that they're saying that he's not getting drafted for, I'm like, well, that stuff really ain't never really mattered to y'all like that. When did that matter?
Right.
But we'll see what he do with AG. I actually think that he has a chance to start the season because, like, I mean, well, not to be funny, it's AG. It's the Browns, and well, they suck because they're the Browns. So there's always a chance. You know what I'm saying?
There's always something going on with the Browns.
I mean, there is. Who's the starting quarterback? Is it Deshaun?
I wouldn't think it would be Deshaun.
Okay, so they don't have a quarterback. Shadur has a great chance of starting. There's a great chance of starting. We don't even know if Deshaun going to be back to start the season. Do we even know?
I don't think he's even healthy enough. I still think he's dealing with the what was it, his Achilles?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that position is open then.
Yeah.
So they drafted another quarterback, but that's still available to him. So we'll see what he does with it. On the new music, Lloyd Banks, AON 3.
Please tell me you've heard this. It just dropped yesterday.
Yeah, I listened to it today. I listened to it early today too. I listened to it a couple times today, actually.
So far, this is my album of the year candidate, bro.
Okay, I was actually about to tell you, AG, and it took like, it was about halfway through before it really sat on me. I was like, this is the best thing he's done in a long time. It was a pretty impressive project, so I wasn't tripping when I thought with what I heard. I thought it was pretty impressive.
It was strong. Like if y'all haven't heard it in the chat, do yourself a favor and listen to it. Especially the song "The Art of Rap," super dope. I mean, he's real conceptual on this album, real introspective. The bars are high level. Like, let's just talk about the bars for a second, man. Lloyd Banks, for the last handful of years, like pandemic era, Lloyd Banks has been holding down the culture, man. It's just one of those things where he drops the projects and they really don't move the needle like that. But with the Halloween Havoc series, the Course of the Inevitable, and now the All or Nothing series, he's been putting out quality projects like for a while. And I kind of wondered to myself, if he was still attached to G Unit, would they have any more buzz surrounding him? And although G Unit is not what it used to be, but I still, wish it had more publicity going on for what he was doing, because he's really putting on for like lyricists and people of the rap culture. And I think that the features on here, he got Ransom, Styles P, and Ghost. And I was so thankful to hear I don't know when this verse was recorded, but I was so thankful to hear Ghost's voice sound good on this feature record, man. Because
hold on. It's not all the way back. It sounds better. Let's not
better than on his own album.
Better.
Yeah.
He sounds way better.
Yeah.
Than every song on his album.
But this is an early album of the year candidate for me. I've given it 2 spins all the way through. I'm gonna be listening to it for a little while, man. It's definitely a strong project. The only criticism I got of Banks is his vocal tone gets a little, monotonous throughout, a long track list, but it's always been like that. But what he's doing with the wordplay and stuff makes up for it.
So my thoughts, AG, is that I think it's an album of the year contender. I don't think it's the album of the year. I still think the Rufus Sims project is my album of the year,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. But I will tell you that I was impressed and surprised by how well he put this project together. And I did find myself saying, well, let's see if this project doesn't do better than the other projects that you just talked about, because this project deserves to do better, because it's significantly an upgrade from all those other records that you talked about, in my
The
opinion. Because
production is the difference. He upped the ante on the production.
I was actually about to say, so you're bringing up the rap style with Art of Rap, and I have that up in my notes too, for like the for like, style points for him as a rapper, but also too, conceptually and production wise, he steps it up a notch, and I feel like Perfect World is the embodiment of that. Like, that's the type of record that when it came
Dope.
on, I was like, I literally said to myself, I said, Banks picked a beat like that. I'm like, let me hear what he do with it. And the way, and then he came off on it and came off on it well. And I'm like, he needs to do more of that. That's winning, And then it made me think, because of the horns, if, like, I'm not sure, has Banks worked with Pete Rock before?
Not to my knowledge.
I think Banks needs to call Pete Rock, because he sounded real fly over them horns on Perfect World. And you're right, he's in his conceptual bag on this project, AG. I really enjoyed it. I think it's at least a 4. It's an album of the year contender so far.
Yeah, it's definitely a 4. I can't see it getting anything. It's a strong 4. Like, I would bump it up in the realm of 4.25, but it's one of those things. If like a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it, does it make a sound?
Yeah. I mean, and just me personally, I do want to hear it a couple more times.
Yeah.
Before I bump it up. But I do agree with you on the strong 4 though.
Mm-hmm.
I do. But and one more quibble about the album, and this, I do feel like it hurt it again. Okay, when Drake and Lil Baby make an album and it has 18, 19, 20 songs, they're playing a numbers game and a streaming game
Right.
when they're doing that. And I understand that part of the game. For somebody like a Lloyd Banks, this album could have been, and I say this about so many albums, a 4.5, 4.75, if you would have cut about 4 or 5 records.
That's fair. I'd have to listen to it again to see which records are the fat that needs trimmed, but I didn't hear not one skip on the album when I played it through.
It's not a skip thing. It's a feel thing, and it's also just understanding where you are with the times things. People don't listen to albums for an hour straight anymore, really. Where do you have somebody for an hour, really? Like for Lloyd Banks, like, that's what I'm saying. For his audience, where do you have somebody's attention for an hour like that?
But still, yet I appreciate him because he's cut from that cloth. Because we're in the era of we was talking about it. Well, I'm not saying we, but a lot of guys were talking about it today in the Discord about how we're in the era of 2-minute songs with 1.5, 2 verses and track lists of it's damn near either an EP or an album. You can't tell which is which. These 8-song albums or whatever. So. I appreciate Lloyd Banks giving us that old school format because he's cut from that cloth. Give us a few verses and a hook, you know what I'm saying? Longer form songs. And then, I think I said on the last show I was on, week before last, because I missed last week's show, 15 is my sweet spot for track lists. You know what I'm saying? I like 14, 15 track albums. It's just enough to feel full and satisfied off a project, I think.
AG, how many records are on Thriller?
9.
Purple Rain?
9.
What's Going On by Marvin Gaye?
Is that 8 or 9?
It's 11.
It's 11?
I think it's 10.
Okay. But yeah, but come on, bro. That was a sign of the times for the vinyl, because you could only fit so much music on a vinyl record, though.
No. What I'm saying is that greatness doesn't really have a number.
True.
And
No, it doesn't.
And so you can complain about a 8-9 track project. The problem ain't that the project is 8-9 songs. Is that the 8-9 songs not great? Like
Well, that's true too.
like that's the problem. The
Because you got
problem
your
is
Daytonas, you got your Magics, you got, you know what I mean, you got joints like that, but still.
correct. Here's what I would have liked, and here's what I'm saying. For somebody like a Lloyd Banks, for these 20 solid tracks that he made, because I agree with you, AG. And this is why I mean I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't feel the need to want to skip any of these records. You know what I'm saying? They were all solid records, and some of the records were great.
Mhm.
And so I was really impressed. And I said to myself, well, man, you actually, could have actually made this about a 12 to 13 track project and then dropped another 5 to 7 track EP about 3, 4, 5 months later. You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
just, and I think about it in this era now, that might have served him better too.
Yeah.
Because I
But
think
he's
the
in a
quality of the
different
records is
space.
there.
He's in a different
Yeah.
space where he's like, you know, independent. He's
Well, also
probably
too,
go
just
ahead.
real quick, AG, I'm not to cut you off. I'm sorry. Part of
No, you
why I
go.
was saying what I was saying is because, well, for very few times, the records are Hold on, we got some spam in the chat. I got to get rid of. Okay, like the records are diverse enough for him to separate the music. His music's usually not diverse like this, which goes back to what you say about the production being better.
Yeah, it's a lot of versatility on here.
It is.
But I think that comes to what I was going to say. I think that comes with the territory of being independent and being your own executive producer versus before, like, you know, 50 might have been executive producing this projects in the G Unit era. Like, okay, we cutting this record. This record is a similar vibe to this one. We don't need both of them. So we're getting it, you know, because when you're your own executive producer, you fall in love with all of your material and you want to put everything out.
Little Perdermo Habano. This is excellent. I've never had one of these before. Stellar. I'll have a little red wine, AG. Excuse me. Hold on one second.
No, you good.
I'm listening to what you're saying, AG. I'm not knocking your hustle. I mean, we could go back and forth about this all day. It's like tomato, because I mean, we were just talking about the Purple Tape. Purple Tape, like 18 songs, and I love that album as much as I love any rap album. I think It Takes a Nation of Millions is like 17, 18 songs. Illmatic is 9 songs. Low End
Yeah.
Theory is 14 songs. It all depends. But when we complain about the length, what I'm trying to say is we're really not complaining about the length. We're complaining about the quality still at the end of the day.
It
That's
all
really what
depends on what you
now.
do with those with those songs. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's all about what you're doing with those records. Because if it feeling like a Daytona or a Magic or Illmatic, you're perfectly happy with those records. Let's slide to the next record. Mathematics, Wu-Tang, Black Samson, the Bastard Swordsman.
Yeah, the only reason why I put this one on the docket, you know, I did the review video on it when I copped the vinyl, and a lot of people hadn't heard it yet because it was a 2-week gap between the vinyl release and then the streaming release. You know, so I was interested to see if you had a chance to tap into it or not.
I'm still in the process of listening to it, but tell me what your thoughts are, because I know that you've shared it already and we've already pumped it out and stuff. But if you want to kind of like reacquaint the audience with the project as well,
Well,
I like to hear something twice before I really, really review it.
right.
I did kind of hone in on the Lloyd Banks and the Capadonna.
We'll get to that. That was put on here for rage bait, just so you'd have to talk about Capadonna again. But yeah, nah. Like the Wu-Tang album, I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm one of the biggest Wu fanatics ever. But from I think the album lost a little bit of its luster for me. You know, because the concept was A1 around the whole vinyl, every album cover being different. And then I had only listened to the album like, maybe a few times because, playing vinyl is not as easily accessible as you're going to play something streaming, through your device. And ever since it came on streaming, I've been tapping back into it again. And I don't feel quite as strong about the album as I did when I was listening to it on vinyl. I do hear some of those elements where it's more of a compilation, like, cut, paste, here, I'm gonna put this verse here, verse there. Like people have pointed out, a couple of the verses had been reused before. it doesn't sound like a Wu-Tang group album. It does very much sound like a compilation, what it is. But I still think that Mathematics did his thing on the production. No, I'm not taking that away, but I wouldn't give it quite the strong rating as I did initially out the gate. Like, as time went on, I would think it might be a 3.75 or barely a 4, if that, especially comparing it to the Banks.
Is it the Banks that made you realize that it wasn't a 4? Or was it the transition from the vinyl to the digital experience that made you realize it? Or was it both?
Both, combination of both, because I was already leaning that way, because when I was listening to it, and it's a very short album, it's like 11 or 12 tracks, but it's like only a 40 some minute album. But after I ran through it again, I was like, this is not as strong as I remember it when I was playing it on the vinyl. But then when I heard the Banks, I was like, no, this is a true stamped 4. But what I will tell you, we talked about Ghostface earlier. The standout of the album, the more I listen to the Wu album, is the Claudine song. That's actually Ghostface's only appearance on the album, but his verse on Claudine steals the show of the whole album, because he gets into his emotional storytelling type bag that only he can do out of the clan,
Ghost is a very dysfunctional lover in the vein of a Drake and a Future. It's a very dysfunctional lover. He's just on some Wu-Tang shit, so people don't miss it.
Yeah. But that's pretty much all I have to say about it. The album has dropped a couple of notches for me since the vinyl release, but still solid effort by Mathematics.
Okay. We're going to keep it Wu-Tang, obviously, with more Wu-Tang. The quote-unquote or self-proclaimed ninth member, Capadonna, godly, wealthy, and beautiful.
10th member, but, who's counting?
He said ninth member. That's why I said self-proclaimed ninth member.
Oh, he said 9? Well, he got to check himself. He would have been 10.
I think
he's the ninth living if we're doing that.
I think You God was in jail when he came into the fold. I think that's why he's saying that. But
and truth be told, he did teach a lot of them how to rap. I've heard Deck and Method Man both give Capadonna credit for teaching them how to rap in Park Hill. Like, he was their OG in a lot of ways. So,
I'm happy for that.
But this project, I gotta be honest, I wasn't feeling it, man. It's some joints on here. It's some joints on here that I like, but
just wanted to see if you were gonna be honest, AG.
Nah,
I knew Sean was here. Because if Sean were here, Sean would try to blow the AB like, yo, tell you the truth, son. This Wu-Tang out. Kappa. Son, Queens get the money, son. Queens get the money, yo. Park Hill, son. Yo. What my man AG said? Bong, bong, bong. The clap.
Yo, I don't even, to be honest, I don't even know if Sean's heard it yet, but I was picking out random stuff, like on a lot of songs, like the mix didn't sound right. Like, his vocals with the beat and certain things sounded off. And then, I don't want to be disrespectful, but like, kind of like, like more amateur, like somebody who maybe on their like first independent project or something like that. And some of the production I wasn't feeling. As far as Kappa himself on his rapping, he's still in pretty good shape for his age. But this album made me realize that when you're in that group, when you're in your twilight of your career, like guys like Nas and what LL did last year and stuff, though, they're in rarefied air, because even if you stay in good lyrical shape, like Method Man, he's another one, your production has to match you. And that's a hard line to tightrope, because do you rhyme over stuff that was popular in your heyday, in your prime, or do you try to update the formula and sound, more current? And it's so many things, so many stars have to align for somebody to be of the age of a Capadonna and really knock it out of the park. That's what this album made me realize. And this misses the mark. So
No, finish.
that's it.
This album, much like his flow,
Oh
much
God,
like his career, much like most of his albums, it's inconsistent. It's not
we
that
need a
good.
we need a mute button for Coop.
It's not that good. Tried to tell y'all it's not that good. I went back and
No, you
listened
tried to
to
tell us that Pillage wasn't good, which is a lie.
no,
That's cap.
no. See, here's my thing. The Pillage is good. It's not as good as y'all are making it out to be.
I'll
Y'all are
take the
making it.
Pillage over to Cal. How about
I
that?
don't know. I won't. Y'all be talking about the Pillage like it's Iron Man, okay?
It's not Iron Man though.
Not the way y'all talk. Y'all love y'all some Pillage. Let me put you. You don't. Here's the thing about it. When you be getting on your Wu-Tang shit, you definitely don't be waking up saying, "Ooh, can't wait to hear the Pillage today." No, you don't.
Nah, I play Pillage more often than you probably think, man. I love Pillage.
Whenever y'all are done lying, man, you just let me know. I just know this wasn't good. I know what I heard. I heard the
Yeah,
first record. I said, here they go. And here is the problem with this record. It seems like every time I heard a record that impressed me, there were two more records after it or before it where I was like,
yeah, yeah. For me, it was only about like 5 that I really enjoyed on this project.
and also too, it's like, what am I expecting? Because here's also what I realized. Well, iron sharpens iron, you know, and he's not around his swordsmen, his brethren, you know, so the bars aren't going to be as sharp because iron does sharpen iron, and he's not around them anymore. Part of why Meth is so sharp is because Meth has put himself around the Griseldas and the street
Yeah,
battle cats and stuff to remain sharp, to keep his blade sharp. You know, Ray
right,
and Ghost have each other forever. You know what I'm
right,
saying? You know
right.
what I mean?
And I'm
It's a
glad you
little bit
brought up that
harder.
point. I'm glad you brought up that point though, because I know I hype up the Pillage a lot, me and Sean both, but in Capadonna's discography, I mean that's his like crown jewel. He doesn't have anything, remotely even close to that project. But with that said, just like you got, just like a master killer, he's better as a complementary piece instead of the main focus, right? So that's
Right.
why he works so well with Ray and Ghost when he's on tracks with them. And he might even, outshine them in that setting or whatever, because as long as he's surrounded with other, swordsmen, like he might have the sharpest sword that day. So, um,
He's a
you know,
Rasheed Wallace. He's a Rasheed Wallace.
that's that's a fair point. That's a fair point. But
Yeah.
yeah, I only ran this through once. I put it on the docket just because I wanted to see your reaction, man. Because we'll find a way to talk about Capadonnas
I'm just
somewhere or
it's
another.
it's officially May, and we've been talking
Hey,
about Capadonna all
blame
year
Andrew.
like it's 1997. I can't
Blame
even
Andrew.
say.
Andrew hit me like, yo, you heard this Capadonna?
Me and Andrew are gonna have a discussion on mirror music. Let me tell you what you won't get when you get the other annals of hip hop talks in the umbrella that happens. There will be no Capadonna on Unwrapped with Coop. There will definitely be there will be no Capadonna on mirror music. It's ridiculous. Been talking about Capadonna all year. What world am I in? See, you don't understand, AG. See, you're in West Virginia. See,
Right.
West Virginia is a real place, but nobody goes to that real place. See, Atlanta's not a real place that everybody goes to. And so when you do shit like this, it just lets me know that my life is a little bit more unreal by the second, by the day. Next subject. Anniversaries. Kendrick Lamar. A year ago, April 30th, 2024. Euphoria. I'm sure all the Kung Fu Kenny crazies out here right now, going ballistic. You know, he's still owning the year. He owned last year. He's owning this year. It's now a year anniversary. Um, it's almost like marking the start of a tragedy, at least if you're in Drake's side of things. Um,
Yeah.
definitely keep his punk ass jacket. Um, so pretty much all I got, AG. Your turn.
Yeah, I mean, he's like you said, he's still running the year. We're all going to the concert on Saturday in Charlotte. We'll be in your hometown, so we'll be
Mm.
pulling up there, see what that's about.
Yeah, they were just here. They were like, you're going to the Kendrick and SZA concert. I was like, have you
I
heard
know
of?
you would.
It's like, have you heard about me? Like, have you heard about me in these streets? Like,
Ask
I
about me.
was, I was like, here. I was like, here. I was like, scan this. I'm like, scan this. Just Don't ask those type of questions again. You know we won't be playing those games. Mike,
But
because here's the thing about it. If hold on, if the show by chance wouldn't have been on point, EG, you know what I'm saying, and I would have been reporting on it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It would look like, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's like I can't even go. I can't even put myself in that position because of the position that he put me in with that trashy, sassy album that he made. That was a sassy, trashy album that he made. The Mr. Morale and the Mid-Steppers. It's trashy
but
and
hey,
sassy. Very,
AG going through that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that.
very sassy.
So I'll
You
be
would,
reporting back. You
you're
know what I'm saying, when I go to the show.
you're probably gonna enjoy Charlotte more than the concert, but don't worry about that.
No, I love Charlotte. If I didn't live where I was at, I was going to move to Charlotte at one point. That was going to be my home, but things happen and work out the way they happen. So, but I tell you what, like
Hold on
our
one
pod
second.
was just
I'm listening. I just got a
okay. Go
gas.
ahead.
No, I'm
Yeah,
listening. I'm right here.
yeah. Go right ahead. Our pod was just our pod was just starting up around the time of the Drake and Kendrick battle, and when Euphoria first came out, I was on record of saying that I didn't like it. I don't. I've never liked Kendrick when he does the weird animated voice, thing. But
Me either.
over a year's time, being able to tap back into that song is a very strong record. I mean, he's going off like lyrically, he's doing this thing. So I have more of appreciation now for it than I did when it came out a year ago. But it's still my least favorite out of the run of diss records because 616 in LA, I think he's going lyrically crazy on there. Meet the Grams is dope conceptually. Not Like Us is a banger. Euphoria to me, like a lot of Kendrick fans thought that was going to be the knockout blow and kind of hyped it up to be that, but it really wasn't. And this is what I realized, Coop. It doesn't have to be that, and it's all good because we're used to situations like a Ether or No Vaseline where it's like no coming back from that, right? That's like somebody dropping 40 or 50 on you and getting you up out of here. But the way Kendrick did it to Drake was a little bit different. It's like somebody dropping a triple double on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he was doing all the things like rebounds, assists, blocks, points, steals. Like every disc record he had gave you a different look, and it was from a different angle. And if they weren't disc records, if they were just album cuts, we would be talking about how versatile the album was, as far as what he was doing. So I think that Euphoria was the start of all that, but it's definitely not the best of what he had to offer. And let's just be for real. People need to start putting a little bit more credit towards Drake because it took all four of those records to get Drake up out of here. Not one of them in particularly was that knockout blow. When Not Like Us came out, it was still ascending. It was still fresh. People didn't call the fight until Drake came out with the Heart Part 6 when he sounded like he was conceding. So that's kind of my point. Euphoria is a strong record, but it took every bit of those four records all together in unison, plus all the hype of Not Like Us, which is well deserved, to get the boy up out of here. But I respect and enjoy Euphoria a lot more today. He performs it in concert, and it's a hype record, but in real time, it was my least favorite, and it's still my least favorite of all the disc records he put out.
Here
Where do you have it? Out of the four, where do you have it?
at the bottom.
Well, we're in agreement then.
But here's what I'm always been kind of trying to emanate. Never before has somebody even been given the leeway to make this many diss records about one person to get them quote unquote up out of here, and they're still not up out of here. You feel what I'm saying?
I think that's more the time, though.
You think that's more of the time?
I think so.
5 records?
Oh yeah, if you count like that, that's 5 records. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's what that's what I mean. So it's like,
Yeah.
so you're telling me that it took you 5 shots before you scored?
Well, that's kind of my point because Drake released that many as well himself.
No,
Yeah.
okay. I'm not trying to take anything away now because I've already conceded and said on multiple occasions that he won this battle and won this battle handily because of Not Like Us. Because Not Like Us is so much better of a record than all the other records that both of them made. Like it's not just Kendrick's best record. It's better than all the Drake stuff too.
Family Matters ranks pretty high for me, but
It's still not on Not Like Us level because here's the
no,
thing: Not Like Us is a banger too. That's the thing about it. You can boogie to
yeah,
it, like.
yeah, that's true. But for people who act like the gap between them as MCs is so big, it shouldn't have took Kendrick 5 records to get Drake up out of here.
That's my whole point. Is it's
Yeah.
like, well, no, like it's not gonna take like it's. We're gonna talk about this and well, not really talk about it, but no, like Jay took Prodigy out with pretty much a song.
Yeah, few verses.
Yeah, I mean, with a few verses, like 2 or 3 verses, and it's like that's more like the level. And this is what I'm saying is like, is Jay a better rapper than Prodigy? Yeah, but it's not like it was by leaps and bounds. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
And
so look at what he did with that. And so it's like, oh no, if you're operating on that level, it is supposed to go closer to that than closer to how it goes now. Now we can kind of meet in the middle, but that's what I'm saying. When you're telling me 5 shots, it's like maybe 2 or 3. I'll give you 2 or 3. But by that third time, you need to have delivered a knockout blow if you are who people say that you are. And so he won this battle, but it's like these records aren't that great outside of Not Like Us. Family
well,
Matters is
let's
pretty
go
dope.
through it. Like Nas, when he took out Jay, he had. I'm just counting at the height of the beef because Last Real Nigga Alive, all that stuff. That's a year later. When you're lamenting on what happened, right? So he had the
Victory lap
Stillmatic
stuff.
freestyle, and then Stillmatic freestyle in the Ether. That's 2 records, and then Pusha T with Drake. He had Adidon, Infrared, and the Exodus track was long before that.
Yeah, Exodus is like 2013.
Yeah, so as Pusha T essentially got him up out of here in 2 records. He
That's what
didn't
I'm
even
saying.
have to turn around and do the Surgical Summer. Like,
And that's what I mean. And that is this era, correct?
yeah, that
Is
was
that classified as
17ish. Yeah,
last 10 years? So yeah, so taking the 5 records is a lot, but whatever. Everybody's just gonna say.
but there's a flip side to that. Before we move on, he was begging Kendrick to drop, and then Kendrick said, "I got a 5-piece for you." So there's that side of it too, because nobody else would have predicted that because Kendrick doesn't release music like that, and Euphoria was the start of all that.
Okay, well, that. Okay, we don't have time to do all that. We're not doing all that. We're not doing All right. Speaking of who, we got Drake with Views, April 29th, 2016. Thoughts on Views? Views on Views, AG.
It's
What are
definitely
your
not a classic album. A lot of Drake
I'll
fans
tell you.
hold it real high, but it
I'll tell
does have classic records on there because I tell you what, if you in a club, like in real time when this was happening, and if you're in a club spot and One Dance or Controller comes on, listen, it's up. Like if either one of those records come on, those are all time records if you in that type of setting or whatever. And when this came out, those records were huge, and it's a lot of dope records on here. Western Road Flows. I mean, Views is a pretty strong project. Definitely not a classic, but I think it's in the upper half of his discography, and that's all I
That's what
got
I'm
to say
about to
about
say. It's one of his it's one of his good projects. It's not a great project. It's not a classic. It's a really good album.
it.
It's mostly really good because the high moments that you said are extremely high. Because here's the thing about it, you can still go into a club today and when something like Controller comes on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like still to this day. So it definitely is that. It's a good album because of that. I think it did kind of maybe mark the end of his great album making run in a lot of ways.
absolutely. Because More Life was not good. That was
Yeah.
next after this. More Life
Well, I
wasn't good
mean,
at all.
everything after this hasn't been at the same level as this. Is that safe to say?
No, I'm with you. Yeah, I agree.
And that was 9 years ago now.
Hmm.
So, All right, we're gonna move on. Big Pun, Capital Punishment, 4/28/98.
I'm glad we're here because I'm gonna loop it back to your original, not original, but what you said earlier about too many tracks on the album.
Yep. Same thing
I
with
think
this one.
that's what keeps this from being a certified classic.
Not a classic.
Way too many tracks, skits, and all, and the skits are funny, whatever. I think it's close to being a classic, but way too many tracks. But I love the records on here. He's sparring with everybody. Black Thought, Prodigy, Inspector Deck. He's like going crazy. Like Dream Shatter is dope. One of my favorite songs that slept on is Caribbean Connection with Wyclef. I think Wyclef spazzed on that record.
I don't love the production of that record, but Wyclef did have a dope as guest appearance. This album for me is always very, very funny because people have always tried to explain to me why it's a classic. I just don't hear it, AG. I hear an album that has, first of all, I mean, lyrically speaking, he is of the Cool G rap, Tretch, um, you know what I'm saying? Like high level lyrical, rapid fire, machine gun funk flow variety. And he's great at that. He's brilliant at that. I mean, it's hard to out rap a Black Thought. I think he did
Right,
that on Super Lyrical.
right.
That's the now also keep in mind too, that's not the Black Thought that everybody is acquainted with. But he is becoming and is kind of that Black Thought or starting to become that Black Thought around that time. So I'm still gonna call that a fair one. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um the joint with Deck and Prodigy is just classic. Super Lyrical is classic. Dream Shatterer is epic.
Dream Shatter is crazy. Twins
Dream
is
Shatterer is
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
Twins with Joe is a classic. It's like if you're gonna redo that record, you got to redo it the way that they did it. Pun's done it on that record too. Here's what people sleep on: the original version, not the record with Joe, but the original. Still not a player.
Yes.
That's
That's
a
a strong record.
banger.
I
That
like
that
that better
record
than
is
the remix.
hard.
Yeah.
Me too. That record is hard. So this record has classic joints. You came up with Nori, but it's too
Yep.
damn long, AG. And when it
Yep.
gets the weak points, the how about this? With so many records, like all them records that I named is fives. But I'm not naming the records it's like threes. And that's what
Right.
makes it like a 4.5 to me and not like that classic five. And not.
That's fair. But it was one of those big moments, you know what I'm saying, that surrounded
Oh
that
no, it's a
album that kind
moment.
of push it, you know.
No, it's a moment. It's big and it's epic and it's deserving of all the praise.
I really wish, I like Eminem, man. I really wish we could have got Slim Shady Eminem on a track with Pun around this era. I think that would have been crazy.
I mean, Pun, I will say this, and a lot of people like low key Pun got at everybody, on record.
Yeah, he wanted to do a record with him, but it just never came to fruition. I heard Fat Joe talk about it.
All
He
right. I
wanted to
still,
rap with everybody who could rap. He was seeking them out.
yeah.
Nas, whoever.
Yeah, no, he had the best verse on John Blaze, in my opinion.
He sure did.
Yeah, even if I stuttered, I was still when, yeah, it's epic. It's epic
Yep.
stuff that he did. Yeah. And to do it after a pretty great verse from Nas, like Nas has a lot of great guest appearance verses. That's actually one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Pun edged them out, though.
uh, 31 years, OutKast, Southern Playlist at Cadillac Music, April 26, 1994. Still my favorite OutKast album, AG. I think it's still the most important album in the history of Southern rap music because it is Southern rap music's quote unquote crossover album of sorts because of the record players ball, Southern playalistic, and street anthems like Get Up, Get Out, and Hootie Hoo. What are your thoughts about OutKast's first classic rap album that started it all?
All the classic songs you just named, I'd throw Crumbling Herb in there. That's another one of my favorites from the album.
Might
Like,
be my favorite record. Might be my
it,
favorite OutKast record, AG.
yeah, it's so many strong records on there. This is a classic, but OutKast discography is so good. I think it's actually underrated, believe it or
It
not.
is.
It's an
You think that
underrated classic. My girl, her favorite group of all time is OutKast, and this is her favorite album. I'm an AT Aliens guy because I like the little bit of East Coast aesthetic it has on there, and lyrically where they're at on ATLians. But in the grand scheme of their discography, where they went to another level, like commercially, and their early beginnings, their first couple albums, I think this gets lost in the shuffle, and I think it deserves a lot more respect, man. This album is super
You want
classic.
you want to know why it doesn't get talked about as much? It's because what's great about this album can't be explained as artistically as you can explain an ATLians and a Aquemini or a Stankonia. This is their street album.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guarantee you a lot of people who are quote unquote acquainted with them that go back through the catalog and hear this, it's hard for them to relate to this album because this is, and this is what I mean about how important it is. Well, they're describing the streets of Atlanta in 1993, 94, very much the same way Ray and the rest of the Wu is explaining Staten Island, very much how Mobb Deep and Nas are explaining Queens, very much how Dre and Snoop are talking about Compton and Long Beach. But those areas have already been exposed before by previous generations, you know? And so this was like really like an uncovering. And it's like a lot of people don't know their history and haven't gone that far back to this album. And it's easy to hear this album, especially if you're more conditioned to a beat machine, because this album has a lot of live instrumentation to it.
Right. It
Which
does.
which is actually extremely rare for the time. The album still sounds remarkably fresh, and it's because of that live sound. And it has stuff on there where it's like, people who are acquainted with OutKast with like Spody Odie Dopalicious AG. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. Well, when they hear Funky Ride, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand that's where Spody Odie Dopalicious really comes from in terms of making that style of record. They know the big record. They don't know the street joints that led to it. And that's what Southern Playalistic is. And so unless you're one of the niggas that just grew up in Atlanta like me, that just like really know what they're talking about, where they're coming from, and what Atlanta was like. Like, you got to understand, this is Big Gip on Get Up, Get Out, talking about, and crooked ass Jackson got the whole country thinking that my city is the big lick for 96. Like, they're,
That's my favorite record on there.
yeah, they're talking about a lot of stuff on there. Most of the records on there are classic records. Like, Ain't No Thing's a classic. Southern Playalistic's a classic. Players Ball's a classic. Um, Get Up, Get Out,
Super
Crumbling
classic.
Herb. Yeah.
Well, let
And
me
so
ask you this, because you would know more than me, residing in Atlanta. So
my
I
favorite
think it's underrated more so because of the down south universal acceptance hip hop buy-in, if you will, right? I think for a lot of different situations, the 95 Source Awards marks time. And when
album.
Andre gets on that stage and says the South got something to say, then what they produced after that moment, I think people woke up and was like, that wasn't from down south, and was like, oh, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? These guys really can rap. And I think the Southern Playalistic, the issue is it came before that moment, and a lot of people that weren't from the South didn't go back to that
Okay,
the
so
way they
so
should.
so so you're right, AG, but here's the thing with that. Well, what put them in position for Andre to say that? What album were they there for at the Source Awards?
They were there for Southern Playalistic,
Oh,
nominated.
thank.
That's
Well,
right. So
hold on. Think about it. A Southern group at the most East Coastish ass thing that you can do
yeah,
won Best New Artist. You want to know why they won Best New Artist? Because Southern Playalistics, a street rap album, and the dudes in New York related to that. They could hear it. Like when you listen to the album, Andre is starting up like Big Boy time and time again. See, I be thinking about that future. Back in the day when we were slaves, I bet we were some cool ass niggas, but now we quick to throw a nigga back out, to slam a nigga back out. I'm
yeah.
rolling reefer out of a Regal. How can I refrain? There's a little intro at the beginning of Ain't No Thing where Andre is literally loading up a handgun to my niggas, and the point ain't changed.
Yeah.
you know? That's
Yeah.
very that's very that's very comparable to like Ghost on Rainy Days where he's like, yo, motherfuckers just robbed my gate. I'm about to murder somebody. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's the
Right.
same thing going on. And so people that are in the streets at the time are like relating to that outcast. And so you have to understand there's a whole probably sector of OutKast fans that stopped being OutKast fans after probably maybe through ATLians on some rap shit, but Aquemini was probably too far for them because they wanted the Southern
Yeah.
playalistic OutKast because I was like that for a long time.
No, I witnessed that in real time. And then Stankonia, some people jumped off the ship altogether. You know what I'm saying? I witnessed that. Yeah.
Stankonia was a lot. Like, my musical ear grown and Aquemini is their most beautiful piece of work. And I understand it. But oh no. Like, and this is what I'm saying. If I'm riding around Atlanta, like chances are I'm playing Southern Playalistic before I'm playing ATLians or Aquemini.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Andre's fashion choices wasn't helping that either. Some cats was like, yo, their music is getting weird, homie dressing weird. Like, I'm out. Like, you know.
But yeah, this is their street album. Like ATLians is
Hmm.
their rap album.
Hmm.
Aquemini is their manifesto, but this is the street album.
Yeah.
This is the album that plays next to a Purple Tape. This is the album that plays next to a Ready to Die. This is the album that plays next to a Illmatic. Like it plays next to those records. And OutKast isn't known as the type of group that makes those types of albums because they only made it once.
Yep. Your debut, you get your whole life to make. So that's what this is.
Well, yeah, and also too, they quite frankly, they talked about Atlanta in a manner where nobody had before, like the welcome to. Yeah, over here is the Georgia Zone, which by the way still flies a Confederate battle flag. It's like, yeah, this is
Mhm.
1994. There's still a Confederate battle flag up. Like it's been 100 years since the war, like over 100. It's kind of letting you know some things that are going on down here that maybe you don't really realize. Like people don't understand when this album is coming out, they're still having Ku Klux Klan rallies in Stone Mountain.
Mhm.
Like when this album's coming out.
Yeah.
And so yeah, them talking the way that they're talking, you know, and lyrically and as far as like the rap shit goes, and this is nothing against Scarface and the Ghetto Boys, like just like lyrically speaking, they were a step above everybody pretty much in the South except
Yeah.
for Faith at the time. At the time, nobody was better than Andre Big Boy, and even the CeeLo and Gip that you're hearing, it's like nobody's better than those guys in the South at the time except for Face, maybe.
Right.
Like
That was it. That was it.
that was it. So and on to the main music anniversary event because Mobb Deep's the infamous. Is that Mad Max punk ass? Where you been, Mad Max?
Yeah, let's
Looking for
put his
you in
glasses on
these
for
streets.
Max.
Coop, choose your words wise about the best MC from the X. Wisely Pun is the best rapper from X that ever existed. G Rap 2.0, he better than him and KRS. KRS is greater though. I'm about to say you talking about X, like BX, like Pun's the best rapper to come from the Bronx. Now what KRS? No, KRS won. It's better
He's
than
not
Pun
better than KRS,
by
man.
every. Yeah, he's not. I'm sorry. He might be
And
better
that's
like
getting a
for
lot for
repeat
me to say
verses.
that because I don't even rock with KRS like Coop does. But KRS is
I
BX.
mean, I mean, I'll tell you this is like it's one of those things when you hear Pun, I hear what you're saying about him being better, but in real time, like KRS One would give it the Pun too, like on a disc record, on an album making ability. That's what I mean. Like Capital Punishment. I can't even tell you that Capital Punishment is better than any of the Boogie Down production albums. You know what I'm
Capital
saying?
Pun is more technically gifted than KRS, but that's where it stopped.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't even know if Capital Punishment is better than like the fourth or fifth best BDP album. I don't know if it's better. Like I don't know if it's better than KRS One's KRS One album or better than Return of the Boom Bap. It's like
Nah.
it might be. That's what I'm saying. Like is it better than Return of the Boom Bap?
I mean, I wouldn't say so. And like I said, that's saying something if I'm saying that.
But that might be KRS's like third or fourth best album if you're including the BDP stuff. So it's like if you're not beating this third or fourth best project, and that's
That's
a
fair.
maybe for a lot of people. Like you have to understand, a lot of people got like criminal minded, and by all means, and
Well, those
edutainment.
clear. That's not even a conversation. I think the conversation is self-titled or Return of the Boom Bap. I think those two in Capital Punishment is more of a conversation.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, best
But
rapper.
thanks for
Come
the
on.
super chat, man.
Yeah, appreciate you. Mobb Deep celebrates his 30th anniversary for the infamous AG. I think we are all big fans of this classic album, April 25th, 1995. AG, I'm going to ask you, is the infamous one of the 10 best rap albums of all time? Does it have a case?
It definitely has a case because of the highs. I think we've had this conversation before. I'm a Hell on Earth guy. I prefer that album. But the
Mm-hmm.
highs on the infamous are so high. Like I was going back and listening to it this week,
Me too.
and
Cheers
it's
for real.
really it's just really amazing, an amazing album. How I look at the infamous is the infamous and Illmatic are different sides of the same coin.
Yes. How about this? It's how about this? I feel like listening to Illmatic is like listening to Queensbridge during the day, and
I
listening to
was
the
just a
Infamous is like
facts.
listening to Queensbridge at night. It's like
Bingo.
this is Queensbridge during the day, and this is Queensbridge at night, and it's like,
After Dark. Yeah. I mean, you can look at
yeah,
the album covers.
absolutely.
The album covers even kind of speak to that. Cool. We're in the same space right now because that's exactly what I was about to say. And when I say
Hmm.
two sides of the same coin, you ever pick
I've
up a
always felt that
coin
way.
and you ever pick up a coin and one side of the coin be like, pristine looking, the other one be like gritty, dirty, you know what I'm saying, rough on the one side, like might be scraped up and scratched, but the imperfections, I think that's what the infamous is. Like Nas on Illmatic paints a vivid picture. On
Okay, so
Infamous, it's the same picture, but it's like real grainy. You know what I'm saying?
so
Real
so
dirty.
so here's what I'll tell you. I believe the Illmatic influence runs so deep that I think there's a part of Mobb Deep, because they know Nas and they're running around with him at the time, that wanted, because here's what he really did with Illmatic, and this is what makes Illmatic so special. Nobody had ever made some grimy, dirty shit, some street shit sound so beautiful.
So poetic.
It sounds so beautiful when you hear it that you might almost forget that he's talking about the projects.
Hmm.
And Havoc and Prodigy are there to remind you, nigga, this is the motherfucking
Yeah,
projects.
they're not poetic about it at all.
This is there to remind you. It's like, yeah, that shit that our man's is talking over there. What he really saying is that if you come around here at night, we gonna rob you, we gonna stab you. You might not like make it out of here alive. We gonna snatch your
Hmm.
bitch up, nigga. We will toss your ass off this motherfucking bridge right
Yeah.
now, nigga. That's what he's saying.
Yep. Aesthetically,
Yeah.
I mean, it's Illmatic is QB in the day. I wish Sean was here because he would confirm Illmatic is QB in the daytime, and
Yeah.
then Infamous is QB at nighttime. Man, that's just what it is. And
Yeah.
and I
Like,
do think it has a strong contention for top 10 all time. I really do.
me too. I think that it does. I went back and I've actually been listening to the Infamous more lately too, AG, and it's astounding how many like great records are on.
I think you muted, Coop. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? No.
I hear you now. There you go.
Oh, okay. I don't know what happened, but you're right, AG. The highs are so high on this album. Stuff that is like not even close to being a top five song on this album would be considered classic on so many other people's albums. It really is a marvelous piece of work. It is. AG, it does have like the misfortune of being scrunched between Illmatic and the Purple Tape and Ready to Die. And listen to what I'm about to tell you.
Yeah.
I think it's better than Ready to Die.
No argument for me.
Infamous is better than Ready to Die.
I agree. No argument
My
here.
hot take. Guess what else I'm about to say? It's better than Reasonable Doubt too.
No argument for me either. And I
Mm-mm.
think if we're keeping a pecking order, I think that I would rank them Infamous, Reasonable Doubt, then Ready to Die. I put Reasonable Doubt over Ready to Die personally.
I think Reasonable Doubt might be slightly better than Ready to Die, except for the highs on Ready to Die are better than Reasonable Doubt's highs. Reasonable Doubt might be a more consistent end to end player, but like there's some knockout blow stuff on Ready to Die that makes it hard for me to say that in clear conscience.
Yeah,
But the
and but
Infamous is better than both of them though.
But Infamous, man, it does have the misfortune, like you said, because it's almost like, there he is, Queens get the money.
Yo, Queens get the money.
What up?
Infamous is a classic. What up, fellas?
What up?
Good to see you on screen, Sean. What up? What up?
Yeah, just connected in Atlanta, about to hit on this other flight. So I had to come on and say Queens get the money. Infamous is a classic. Y'all chilling it tonight. I got to get out of here. Peace.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Queens get the money. But I'm thinking right, Coop. I think it has the misfortune of coming behind Illmatic, like, where it's looked at as like Illmatic's little brother in some sense. And
think about it. Think about it. It's like, okay, so here's the thing. What really happens is that, okay, so literally a year before, like pretty much 355 days before, Nas makes arguably the greatest rap album of all time. A year later, listen, you make the best street East Coast rap album ever made. And you want to know how long that lasted? It lasted about 90 days that you made the best street East Coast rap album ever made. Because the Purple Tape comes out like 90 days later. And
yeah,
that's really what happened with the Infamous. The Infamous is the second best East Coast street album ever made. It just so happens that the album that's in first place literally got released 90 days right after it. And here's the thing about it. When you actually, and this is why I asked if the Infamous is a top 10 rap album. If you think the Purple Tape is a top 5 rap album, you can sit the Infamous right next to the Purple Tape, and it goes toe to toe with it. And actually beats the Purple Tape for the first half. It's the second half where the Purple Tape beats the Infamous. The Infamous is actually, the first half of the Infamous is actually better than the first half of the Purple Tape. That's
it's
how
so
strong
strong.
the Infamous is. No. It is, because think about this. The first half of the Infamous got Survival of the Fittest, Eye for an Eye, Give Up the Goods, Temperatures Rising, Trife
Yeah,
Life.
yeah.
It's
Survival
better
of the
than
Fittest is actually my favorite Mobb Deep record.
what is
Survival
it?
of the Fittest is my favorite Mobb record. Yep,
Give Up the Goods is probably my favorite Mob record.
I love them both. Let me ask you. Oh, Mad Max with the super chat.
Infamous, best rap album from NYC, Mad Max. I take that back. Purple Tape, then Infamous. I know Mad Max. See how I had to correct Mad Max. All this teaching, all these years, it's been working out.
I'm gonna ask you a question, Coop. A lot of us, we act like juvenile hell doesn't exist.
Because it
So
doesn't.
people
It doesn't. It
people
doesn't.
act like the Infamous is Mobb Deep's debut album. If we really, like, say if juvenile hell really doesn't exist for real, and the Infamous is the debut album, do people hold it higher than what they do?
No, I don't think that. I don't think that changes anything, because the quality on the music on the Infamous is so ridiculously high that I think it's just going to stand the way that it stands regardless.
Yeah.
And so I
But
don't
that's
think
the
that they're
biggest
darkening.
jump from a freshman to a sophomore album I think it's ever been in hip hop.
Well, absolutely, because the first album is a throwaway and the second album is a must-have of like must-have rap albums. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
like, how about this? If you're doing a core 5 pack of like what does the East Coast rap sound like? It's like, oh no, you play the Infamous before you play Ready to Die and Reasonable Doubt. That's kind of what makes it better. It's actually a better representation, and lyrically speaking, and people are going to be surprised about this. Is like, oh no, I'm listening to Prodigy on the Infamous. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't necessarily tell me that Big sounds better on Ready to Die or that Jay sounds better on Reasonable Doubt. No, Prodigy's crazy on the Infamous and crazy on Hell on Earth. And we got more super chats coming in. CJ the Kid with the $5. What up, CJ? I just got in. Just want to say bless you guys. Just so somebody left the video. Blessings in too. Yeah. Sean just touched down in the A's, about to fly back out. Appreciate all the love and support, CJ. That's what's up. But yeah,
Appreciate that.
so I mean, AG, when I think about it, it's like, okay, so when I say this, it's like, well, objectively speaking, it's like, well, Do I think it's better than Illmatic? No. It Takes a Nation of Millions? No. Purple Tape? No. Chronic, Doggy Style, Paid in Full. So where am I at? 6, 7? I
Mm-hmm.
think the Low End Theory is better, barely. And then that's what I'm saying is like after that, I'm like, well, I don't know. After I just named those albums, I don't know what album I would put necessarily ahead of it. Get Rich or Die Trying. Do you think Get Rich or Die Trying is better than The Infamous?
No,
I
not
don't
at all.
either. I think Get Rich or Die Trying. It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
Mm-mm.
We just went through Ready to Die and Reasonable Doubt.
I mean,
Life After Death.
when we did our 5 mic album bracket, I think it took, if I'm not mistaken, I think it took 36 chambers to take The Infamous out.
Ooh, there we go. 36 Chambers is better. There we go.
Yeah, I think that's what took The Infamous out on our bracket.
Okay,
If I'm not mistaken.
so listen to what I just named. I just named Illmatic, It Takes a Nation, Chronic, Doggy Style, Paid in Full, The Low End
Cuban Link.
Theory, Cuban Links, Into the Wu-Tang. That would put it ninth. Yeah, so that would make it a top 10 rap album because we just named 8. What albums are better? What are we missing?
Yeah,
Because I
it's
think it's better than Straight Outta Compton and Niggas for Life.
I mean, Death Certificate's real strong. It's up there.
Ooh. I think Infamous got bigger records than Death Certificate though, which is
Yeah. I mean, at some point it's going to be a preference thing. You know what I mean? As far as like, East Coast, West Coast, whatever. But
right.
it's definitely in the conversation for top 10 all time. Like, I don't even think that's a hot take. I think that it's, a majority of rap fans would say it's hovering. If you don't have it in top 10, I don't see it slipping past 15.
Oh no, there's not 15 rap albums better than Infamous.
No, not at all.
No. So
Not at all.
nice run for Queens. Now you had a couple things that we wanted to get to, like so we have Prodigy's top 5 opening lines. AG?
Yeah, man. Just Prodigy, that guy, man. He got some of the best lines to open up rap verses in rap history.
Absolutely.
I look at Prodigy like Allen Iverson, man. Like pound for pound, at one point he was the best rapper in the game. You know what I mean?
I don't think that happened, but I hear what you're saying though.
No, he was in the conversation with Nas and Big, and just like when Iverson was playing, you still had a league where Shaq was dominating, Kobe was the guy, and all that. But still, Iverson was still the man. You know what I'm saying?
I always felt like so Iverson for me was when he was at his peak was the 3rd best player in the league after Shaq and Kobe.
Right, and that's like I said, 96 Prodigy to me was the 3rd best rapper on the planet behind Nas and Big.
Okay. So you think Prodigy's better than Jay in 96?
Yes.
Okay. I agree. I'm just asking questions.
Yeah.
So what are your top 5 Prodigy opening lines, AG?
Counting down from 5, and this was hard to do, just for the record. I don't know if we gonna have the same joints, but his opening lines from It's Mine. I got the style of a stillborn child, a meal. If it's beef, poke him with a fork, see if it's real. Like that. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? Number 4, gotta keep it thorough. Some of the most, popular
Bread.
reels of the dollar bills. Bill Ducati's another 4 wheels. Like, that's quoted so much, man. That's number 4. Number 3, Quiet Storm. But I had a hard time picking which verse start off, and I had to go with verse 2.
Okay.
P-Rock 40-inch cables, drinking white labels, my chain hanging down to my dick, but shit, playing glass tables. Like, he was going crazy on there. He was going crazy on there. 2, I got Survival of the Fittest. I mean, how many times has this been quoted? There's a war going on outside.
And it's safe from you can run.
You can run, but you can't hide forever.
From these streets that we done took. You walking with your head down, scared to look.
Scared to look. Ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. So, and that leads me to number 1, Shook One's Part 2.
We all know what it is. I got you stuck off the realness.
Yeah. But it's so many I left off. That's why I'm interested in seeing which ones you came up with, man.
Okay, so we have some of the same ones, but we don't quite have them the same way. I do for number 5. I have Prodigy on his first verse on Hell on Earth, where he goes, "Yo, the saga begins, begin war. I draw first blood, be the
But
first to set it off.
so,
McCall, tap all jaws, lay
so it's
down
like they
law.
love us.
We do
That
just
was my number 6 if we went beyond 5.
yeah. That's my Hell on Earth is
Front
my shit.
lines.
At number 4, I have Quiet Storm, verse 1. Yeah, I write my lifetime in between
Time.
the paper lines.
His lines. Yeah.
I'm a quiet storm nigga who fight rhyme. P, yeah, you heard of him, but I ain't concerned with them. They
Them.
got pop more guns than you holding them. Yeah. At number 3, I have Survival of the Fittest. I'm gonna tell you something about Survival of the Fittest. AG, that's the first rap song that I heard where I was like, that shit sounded like different to me. It sounded like hunger and anger and like poverty. Like it was a different East Coast sound that they were creating when they were doing that. You know,
Mhm.
like Wu-Tang was kind of quirky, kind of fun. Like Mobb Deep wasn't fun. Like Nas was kind of intelligent, kind of poetic.
Mob was dark, man.
Yeah, it was dark. It was dense. It was like troubled. It was like, ooh, that's different. Yeah.
That beat is just the beat is unsettling.
The beat is very unsettling. The beat sounds like a horror flick.
Yes. Yep.
The beat sounds like a horror flick. So when he comes in talking about there's a war going on outside, no man is safe from. You can run, but you can't hide
Yeah.
forever from
Forever.
the streets that we done took. You walking with your head down, scared to look. You shook, cause ain't no
Ain't
such
no
thing.
such thing.
Crooks. They never around when the beef cooks. When he said in my part of town is similar to Vietnam,
No.
I was like, what the fuck is going on? I
Just
was like,
just
yo.
to get in that mind frame, like Coop, we both, what I'm saying, used to rap or whatever. Like those first lines when you write, to have to build off that. Like P's
The hardest
brain, the
part,
way it worked is crazy.
the hardest part about a rap song is how to start a rap song.
Yes.
And he is one of the 2 or 3 best ever at it, in my opinion.
I think he's number 1. I think Rakim and Nas is probably
Rakim,
2 and 3.
Tupac too. That's those 4 guys. Those are the 4 guys to me. Those are the best song starters in terms of the stuff that they saying being
Yeah.
most memorable. You know what I mean? And not just to start off songs, but like to start off other verses, like second verses, third verses.
Hmm.
Yeah, those 4 guys: Tupac, Prodigy, Nas, and
Rock.
Rakim. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, for certain. So number 2, actually, I give up the goods. Yo,
I'm
Queens
with
get
it.
the money, long time, no cash. I'm caught up in the hustle where the guns go blast. The
Yeah.
fool retaliated, so I had to think fast. Pull out my heat first, he pulled out his heat last. Now who the fuck you think is living to this day? Trying to tell these young niggas crime don't
That
pay.
shit
They
hard.
look at me and say, Queens niggas don't play. Do your thing. I do mine, kids stay out of my way. It's type hard trying to survive in New York State, but can't stop. All that
He
shit
went
is
crazy on that.
crazy to me. That is still my favorite. That's probably my favorite Mobb Deep song, to be honest with you, AG. Give up the
I'm
goods.
not mad. I'm not mad at that.
Because to be honest with you, I think it's his best 2-verse performance that he has on any of the Mobb Deep records. Like it's the first verse and the second verse. It's like I don't know which verse is greater to this day. I'm still trying to figure it out.
I'm like that with Quiet Storm, but I feel what you're saying.
Quiet Storm is his best rap performance because it's 3 verses, but I think the 2
The
verses.
third verse falls off.
How about this? The 2 verses on Give Up the Goods are just as good as any of the 2 verses on Quiet Storm. And I think it's slightly more memorable to the core audience.
I'm not mad at that.
But,
Did you have Shook Ones part 2 for number 1 as well?
I mean, how can it not? It's actually the most famous start off in rap history next to I Came in the Door. I said it before.
Nas might up there. Rappers are monkey flipping with the funky rhythm. That's up there.
Nah, I got you stuck off. The realness is bigger than that.
It
It's big.
is. It is. I agree with that. But it's a
Like,
lot of them that I could think of though. But yeah, that's definitely number 1.
yeah, I Came in the Door. I said it before by Rakim on Eric B as president. That's the only one that's above Shook Ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's an all timer right there.
Yeah. CJ asked me a question. He said, "Infamous over Moment of Truth, Coop." Absolutely. It's not even a question. That's how good the Infamous is. I don't even. It's like everybody knows how I feel about Moment of Truth. It's not even conversational. Like the Infamous is a step up from the Moment of Truth. It is. It's literally a step up. CJ the Kid with the $5 super chat. The beats on the Infamous made me feel like I was being chased. by Cenobites from Hellraiser. Don't know if you guys know what this is, but yeah, scary.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
I
were
always
different.
appreciate the love and support, CJ. So that's what we got. So, and after that, we have AG. You want to do top 10 Havoc beats? This was the hard part to me, actually, and I have some thoughts to share about this. Now, I didn't exactly order this, AG, because I actually thought this was an exercise that we needed to do together because there were so many great beats to choose from.
I'm with it. I'm with it. So let's start at the bottom at 10.
Okay.
I have now this might be a bias pick, but I have Why by Jadakiss.
Mm-mm. I
And
don't have it. I don't have that on my list because when I listen to the Mobb Deep stuff, there are just so many beats that as an MC, I would rather rap over than that beat. And Havoc
that
always said that he never gave anybody his best stuff. And so, really, outside the stuff I think he gave Nas on It Was Written, I think that's true. And I even think those beats might have been a step down from some of that stuff when you look at it.
the reason why I included it wasn't necessarily for the quality, but I think far as like on a mainstream scale, I think that's Havoc's biggest push record that he was at the helm of the production, even out of all the Mobb Deep stuff.
It's his biggest probably record in terms of appeal, but it's not one of his best beats. It's not.
Yeah.
Can we
No,
table
I
that?
agree with that. I was more so the masses aspect of it.
Okay, I actually originally had the setup at number 10. That's what I'm saying.
The setup is strong.
Yeah,
It's
and
it's,
I'm
it's a better beat than Why. Yeah, it's a better beat than
I,
Why.
I'm funny about the setup even making number 10 though. That's what I mean about it being so strong. What's your number 9?
The Learning, Burn.
Okay, I have the learning a little bit higher than that. I have Godfather Part 3 at number.
Ooh, I got that really high. I got
Oh,
that
okay, so
really
you
high.
got that really high. Okay,
I got that
gotcha.
really high.
But Godfather Part 3 is on your list, huh?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so that's the first thing that we both have agreed upon on our list. So let's kind of put that to the side right now because that might end up
Okay.
being higher. I have the learning. I have the learning at number 7.
I have God Part 3 at number 4.
Oh, you got it high, high.
Yeah. I mean, to take
What's
Scarface, like, come on, bro.
and where do you have the learning?
9.
Okay, and I have the learning at 7. So I think it's safe to put the learning at 8.
Yeah. Yeah, settle in the middle.
That sounds good. I like that you put the learning on there because I feel like that's the last great Mobb Deep record, and that's the last great Havoc beat for Mobb Deep.
Absolutely. Heavily slept on. Heavily slept on.
Heavily slept on.
Yeah.
What was your number 8? I should say.
Still shining.
That's crazy. I have Still Shining a little higher. I have Still Shining at number 5.
I'm not mad at that. Still shining is a wonderful beat.
Still Shining
Crazy.
was originally supposed to be a single. That beat is crazy. It's one of Havoc best gems.
I wouldn't mind bumping it up higher.
I'm cool with Still Shining. Let's kind of tend to think about Still Shining being number 6.
I'm not mad at that.
Okay.
I think you approached it a little bit different than me because like you don't hold his ones outside of the mob as high as I do, maybe because I have Last Day at number 7.
See, Last Day didn't make my cut because, okay, so here's my thing with Last Day. Do you think Last Day is a better beat than Nighttime Vultures?
No, I don't. I have Nighttime Vultures above that.
I have
But I'm
Nighttime
looking at
Vultures.
it. Last Day was like an event for me because when I got Life After Death and saw RZA and Havoc
Havoc.
on the track
Right.
list, I was like, "Yo, this is
Right.
not
It was
supposed
an
to
event.
happen."
No, no, no. It's an event. It's a moment.
Yeah,
But in real time, that's what I'm saying is it's like, well, I got Nighttime Vultures at number 8.
you got that at 8. Ooh, I got that at 5, bro.
Okay, see, we're picking some of the same stuff. It's just we're picking it differently.
Just
So,
the Vultures effects in the beat alone, man. The eerie sound, it's just crazy.
and where did you have Still Shining?
8.
Okay, so what you think of Still Shining is what I think of Nighttime Vultures beat wise. We just have our thoughts reversed.
I got you.
So I would tell you that, with that being said, we could probably put Nighttime Vultures at 5.
That's where it landed on mine, so I'm cool with that.
No, I'm cool with that because I'm cool with putting it slightly ahead of Still Shining. What else?
Number 6. Well, what'd you have at 7? Sorry, what'd you have at 7?
At 7,
Yeah,
I had Hell on Earth.
I'm not mad at that. But Hell on Earth didn't make my list, but I'm not mad at that.
Okay, we can table it for now because I kind of want to make the list of stuff that we got on the list so far together.
Because I made room for a few records that wasn't mob records, and you know what I'm saying? I think you took it because was the setup the only one, your only exception? Because I don't have live nigga rap on mine either.
I have a list of 20 records, and then I picked for those, and the setup and live nigga rap were the only outside choices that made it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Let me ask you something. Did The Realist come to your mind at all?
I'm sorry. Did what come to my mind?
The Realist with Cool G Rap? What'd you think of that?
That's my favorite record. You know what's funny? That's my favorite record on Murder Music, but it didn't make my list.
Okay. It didn't make mine either, but I really thought about it. And I listened to it today, and it was so hypnotic and melodic and so
I
glorious.
love it.
Dang. I was like, this is crazy that this isn't the top 10 beat from this guy.
I love it. But think about what I just said. Murder Music has It's Mine and Quiet Storm 1 and Quiet Storm Remix, and The Realist is my favorite record, but it still didn't make my list.
Right. So we got The Learning covered. We got
Now, number 6, I got Eye for an Eye.
I got Eye for an Eye at number 4.
That's fair. I'm not mad at that because I had God Part 3 higher than you did, but Eye for an Eye might belong higher. And if you want to know something for real, Right Back at You almost made my list, but I took it off because I feel like Eye for an Eye and Right Back at You are way too similar to have both on here.
Actually, AG, I actually almost did the same exact thing for the same exact reason. That's crazy. Because I wanted to put Right Back at You on there, but I'm going to tell you what I realized. It didn't make my list, but I was wanting to have maybe a conversation about it. Trife Life is brilliant.
Trife Life is good, but I don't see it cracking my top 10.
It is great though. But I have okay, so here's how I look at it. I have Eye for an Eye at 4. I think based on our agreements right now, how does it sound for you if we have Eye for an Eye at 4, Nighttime Vultures at 5, Still Shining at 6, God Part 3 at 7, The Learning at 8?
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that either. So keep going. Because those records we have all agreed upon and just had them within some sort of proximity of each other. But I like how those line up.
Yeah, and the top 3, I think it might we're gonna have the same 3. It's just gonna be different orders. 3, I got Survival of the Fittest.
Agreed. Yeah, that's my 3 too. So we don't even have to.
Number 2, I had Quiet Storm.
And we don't have to argue about that either.
And number 1, just like everything, Shook Ones Part 2.
All right, so we pretty much have this whole list worked out except for 9 and 10. And so there was only, I think, and you're right, AG. How about this? I think we actually picked the same beats outside of the 2. You picking Last Day and Why. Because I
And you
picked
picked Setup and Live Nigga Rap.
correct. So let's take those out and let's just think about some Mobb Deep joints right quick. What
Okay.
about
Well, if we're gonna do that, I Realist got to go on there. 9 or 10. I want Realist on there.
I have one before that I want to submit to you. What were your thoughts on Drop a Gem on them as a beat?
Yes, it almost made my list. I had that. I have it scribbled out beside Y for 10.
So
So
do you think the Realist or Drop a Gem on them?
be an objective. Drop a gem on them.
That's what I'm saying. So Drop a Gem on them should be our 9. And just so we're being fair, let me just run by a couple more beats for you. Um, Streets Raised Me.
I still would take the realest over that.
Where Your Heart At?
Still would take the realest.
Start of Your Ending.
Close, but I'm still taking the realest.
More Trife Life.
The realest.
What's Your Poison?
The realest.
Okay, Realist is at 10 then.
I love the realest. I'm sorry, bro. Like I
No,
love that
no, I'm
record.
cool. I'm cool with that. Like AJ, I don't think you understand. I was listening to the Realist today, and I was like, I don't know. I was like, it's up there. I'm like, it's up there beat
Yeah,
wise.
it G rap, man. Come on, dog.
And you got G Rap and Prodigy going back and forth on the chorus, man.
Yeah,
It's real, real grindy on the Realist. That's one of G Rap's best verses too, and that's hard. And that's a lot. That's saying a lot. That's one of G Rap's
yeah,
best.
and like you said, it's
Ooh,
a hypnotic record. Like I don't smoke,
AG,
but
we
if
have
I
a
did,
problem.
that would be the instrumental.
See, we have a problem. We raps with $2 super chat saying the Realist is an Alchemist production.
Ooh, they gotta go there. Damn, I forgot about that. Good, good correction. Good pull. But I still love it all the same. Shout out to Uncle Al.
Hold on one second. Yes.
I forgot that Alchemist produced that. Yo, good correction on that one.
No, that was good.
Oh
Uh,
man.
so what do you think about the setup? Live nigga rap. What's Your Poison? Start of Your Ending. Start of Your Ending is actually the one that comes to my mind. That is the start of the Infamous. That is a really, really great beat.
If we're
Hold on, did
it,
Hell on
if
Earth make it? I would tell you Hell on Earth is a better beat.
oh, it didn't make it?
No.
Oh no, that's gotta go on there. That's gotta go on there for 10. If we keeping it mob and not doing the outside joint, Hell on Earth gotta go for 10. Yeah, front
Okay.
lines. Yeah.
So at number 10, we have Hell on Earth. Number 9, Drop a Gem. Number 8, The Learning, Burn. Number 7, God Part 3. Number 6, Still Shining. Number 5, Nighttime Vultures. Number 4, Eye for an Eye.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Survival of the Fittest. Number 2, Quiet Storm. Number 1, Shook Ones Part 2.
It's a hell of a list, bro.
I mean, beat wise, it's hard for anybody not named Dr. Dre or RZA to beat that, to be honest with you. And it'd be a problem for them too.
Or Premiere, maybe.
I mean, Premier's best 10 is in trouble, but yeah. These are
Depends on
some
what mood you in, man.
because you got to think about it. Like some of these best beats are some of Prodigy's best mic performances. That's what I'm saying. Like think about it.
Well,
The only reason Give Up the Goods isn't on here because we know Q-Tip did it. But think about it: Quiet Storm, Shook Ones, Eye for an Eye, The Learning, God Part 3, Hell on Earth.
yeah, if it's dark and rainy outside while that beat battle is going on, this is winning 10 out of 10 times.
That's what I'm saying. CJ the Kid with a $5 super chat. I actually would have loved to hear Having P at the time rap over Last Days by Onyx. To me, that beat fits the Infamous. Oh, that's an interesting pull. I like that.
Not
All
bad.
right, so and now the finale, and I have
Oh,
a hot
real quick,
take after.
did you do the top 10 Prodigy verses?
No, that's
Or
why I
did you
said
just
the
keep
finale.
it to the thing? Oh,
No, that's what I was saying. Now the finale, the top 10
oh, okay,
Prodigy.
gotcha.
So AG, what's your number 10 Prodigy
I
verse?
think we're gonna be even more all over the place on this one.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is about to be hard. But
I
go
got
ahead.
self-conscious.
Self-conscious almost made my list. I got QU Hectic.
I'm not mad at that.
I got QU Hectic. The verse on QU Hectic is like an East Coast ethos to me because he speaks about the same thing that Big speaks about the year before on Ready to Die, where he's like, he was like, I'm coming from Queens bringing guns and couples. But he's pretty much explaining how, like, we used to be able to scrap out here, but now we got to shoot these niggas and now I got to
Yeah,
live this life. You know what I'm saying? QU Hectic is chilling.
yeah. Self-conscious is so cerebral though. Like it was at 10, it was either that or the joint that was on the Bullworth soundtrack.
No, self-conscious almost made my list. Self-conscious was
Yeah,
literally probably my number 11. So I feel you.
yeah.
Hold on, let me see what else we got. My number 9 is the first verse on God Part 3.
I got his verse on Hell on Earth front lines.
Okay, you want to know what's crazy is that I had to pick between that and the first verse on God Part 3, and I picked the first verse on God Part 3. The Hell on Earth verse is my number 12 verse.
So we were still kind of in the same wavelength.
Okay, so hold on. So hold that. What's your number 8?
I shot your remix verse.
Okay, that's my number 5.
I conversate with many men. Time to begin
Yeah,
again.
that's
Got
one of his best
already
lead.
learned.
That's one of
Yeah,
his best songs. That's one of his best song starters too.
it
So that's
is.
my
It
number.
almost made my list.
So that's my number 5. It almost made mine too. It was number 6 on mine. So that's my number 5. That's your number 8. So so that's making the list for sure. My number 8 was Apostles' Warning.
I got that at 7.
Okay, so that's definitely making the list because that's my 8. That's your 7. Are you cool with just leaving it at an 8?
Yeah.
Okay. My number 7 is actually the second verse on "Give Up the Goods."
Okay.
What's your number 7?
You just got through talking about, how dope
Oh,
those two
Apostles'
verses
Warning. Right.
was.
Right. So what's your number 6?
The Nighttime Vultures verse.
That's my number 4. So we can put that at 5.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I said that's my number 4. Can we put that at 5?
Yeah, settle in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Apostles' Warning is 8. Hold on. 8 Apostles' Warning. 5 is Nighttime Vultures. What's your my number 5 is the I Shot Your remix. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry. My number 6 is Survival of the Fittest. Where do you have Survival of the Fittest?
3.
Okay, that's your number 3 verse. Oh,
Hmm.
you got it up there, up there. Okay, so if
But
it's
that's
your
an
number,
objective pick because when I give you my number 5, I tried to be objective. My number 5 is my favorite Prodigy verse.
what's that?
Give it up fast.
Okay, that didn't make my list at all.
That's my favorite Prodigy verse, bro. Once he, hop out the Lexus on some next shit. Like from that point on, throughout the verse, he left Earth. Like it was just some different, like my pipe game, like a night train to your wound piece, rated X to say the least. Like he was going crazy on there, bro.
That's crazy. Okay, give it up
I
fast.
I love Give It Up Fast, man. Like I think him and Nas collabs a lot of stuff. A lot of times Nas got the best of him, but I think he smoked Nas on that record.
See, I prefer Nas's verse on there, but I hear you though. So, what do you feel about Survival of the Fittest being like number 4?
Yeah, that's just
I
one
have it
down
at
from where I had it.
Well, yeah, because I have it at 6, and I have I Shot Your remix at 5, which
Hmm.
you have at 8, but I
Give It
don't
Up
have the Give
Fast.
It Up Fast verse at all. So what's your number? Where are we at for your number 3,
4. My
4?
number 4.
What's your number
Keep It
4?
Thorough.
Okay, so Keep It Thorough didn't make my list.
What? Like at all?
Mm-mm,
Wow.
it
Well, it
didn't.
made your other list for opening lines, but the whole verse is not like that to you. Okay.
It's not when I listen to it. The stuff on Hell on Earth and the Infamous from beginning to end, it is the first start off of that verse. It does not hold to me. And the second verse is really great, but it's not enough to hold on to. So I don't have that at all. I have Give Up the Goods. Verse 1 is my number 3, actually.
Yeah. I'm mad at your Keep It Thorough. I'm mad at that, but I see your rationale though.
I'm picking the best verse, not the most memorable verse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have
Yeah.
Give Up the Goods, verse 1 at number 3. So you're right. This is going to be more difficult for us to get in the middle of this.
Yeah. You hold give up the goods way higher than I do, and I'll hold Give It Up Fast way higher than you do.
Right, right, correct. I'm assuming. I mean, my number 2 is Quiet Storm, verse 1.
I got Quiet Storm verse 2.
Is that your number 2?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
We know what number 1 is. Like number 1, at least the number 1s have been consistent across the board. That's how great that song is.
Okay, so number 1 is Shook Ones.
The best beat, best opening line, best
You want to know what?
Prodigy.
I think we should just put Quiet Storm whole song at number 2.
That would be a diplomatic move. I'm with that.
Yeah, that way we're not, because you're right. The third verse isn't as good, but the third verse is excellent. It's just the first two verses are epic.
Yeah.
So that would leave us with a couple of gaps. So I have Shook Ones at 1, Quiet Storm the Song at 2. Now we agreed to Nighttime Vultures at 5,
Yes.
Apostles Warning at 8, Survival of the Fittest at 4. So we need a number 3, or we need to move Survival of the Fittest up to 3. Is that what we need to do?
As far as what we agree on, I think Survival of the Fittest would have to go up.
Okay, so we're going Shook Ones, Quiet Storm, the whole song, Survival of the Fittest at 3. Now here's where I would argue with you a little bit, and you tell me how you feel. I Shot Your remix or Nighttime Vultures from the stuff that we've agreed upon.
I wouldn't be mad. I would say Nighttime Vultures, but I wouldn't be mad at I Shot Your remix coming right after that.
Okay, so I'm cool with that. So I'm cool with Nighttime Vultures at 4. I Shot Your remix at 5.
Yep.
That's where I originally had the I Shot Your remix anyway. And so the only other thing we agreed upon is Apostles Warning. So I guess that would be 6.
Yep.
Okay, so from there, where are we gonna go? Are you gonna? What do you think? Hold on, hold on. Hold on. God Part 3.
I don't have that. You had that on your list. I didn't have it.
But you had Hell on Earth, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, my actual first inclination was to pick Hell on Earth first, so I'm cool if that's number 7.
I'm good with that. That's a stellar verse, bro.
It is. No. I have no problem with picking that verse. So Hell on Earth is the 7th verse. Number 8.
I say this is what I say.
I feel like Keep It Thorough can make it right here, but I feel like those Give Up the Goods verses are better than the Keep It Thorough verses too.
I'm cool with Keep It Thorough going off if you want to put Give Up the Goods in there, but I'd rather put a buy-in for Give It Up Fast over Keep It Thorough. And then we both had Self-Conscious right there. If Self-Conscious is 10, I'm good with that.
How about this? If you are taking the verse from Giving Up Fast, I think the goods. How about this? I think the first verse to Give It Up the Goods is better than the verse to Give It Up Fast. So I think that should be the 8, but I'm okay with the verse to Give It Up Fast being 9.
Let's do that. And Self-Conscious at 10?
Actually, I think the verse of Self-Conscious is better than the verse to Give It Up Fast. So I would tell you, if we're doing that, I would tell you Self-Conscious should be 9 and Give It Up Fast should be 10.
I'm not mad if we flip-flop those.
Okay. That's cool. So Give Up the Goods.
Because P was in a different bag on that song. You know what I mean? Like,
and actually, too, we'll do what we did on Quiet Storm and just be like, Give Up the Goods versus both verses, because that's like kind of how and then we can go 9 Self-Conscious. And I love Self-Conscious because that was my number 11 anyway. And you're giving me Give Up the Goods, so you can have Give It Up Fast. And Give Up the Goods is the bigger record, so.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that list. That was a little tougher. It didn't go the way that I was expecting to. I thought some other stuff might have made it that didn't, but yeah.
Prodigy got strong verses everywhere.
Got a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah.
Got a lot of stuff. All right, AG, I think we're done with the rap portion of this show today. I'm gonna let you take over and become ringmaster because it appears that somebody let the apes and the gorillas and this shit done went viral. AG, tell me what's going on, man.
Oh yeah, unless you've been under a rock, you know what I'm saying? You've seen the viral the viral vibes this week. Everybody's talking about on Twitter. Could 100 men beat one gorilla, one full-grown silverback gorilla? And it's been some entertaining memes and just all kind of stuff going on. So we want to do a little lighthearted segment, a little comedy action, comedy style, and we want to come up with 100 men that we think could take on the gorilla. But it's a little caveat, a little twist to it. You know what I'm saying? We've talked about the NFL today. We've talked about the NBA today. And we've talked about hip hop. We are hip hop talk. So our 100 men to take on the gorilla with no weapons is going to be comprised of either basketball players, hoopers, NFL players, or rappers or people in the rap industry, but me and Coop each get 5 wild card picks. Our wild card picks could be anybody, don't have to be a ball player, you know what I'm saying, or a rapper. It could be anybody doing anything. So we each get 5 wild card picks. Now, before we begin, we're gonna go through this 100 list, and we're gonna we're gonna go back and forth on the air, and we're gonna give our rationale to why we picked each person, right? But before I get started, Sean hit me on the text because he thought this was hilarious and he wanted to participate. So he had a few picks that he wanted to get off before we started ours. So I'll just read through him in quotes of what Sean said for me to say on air. So it was implied that me, you, and Sean are in the 100 men because we're trying to win. We're trying to beat the gorilla. So it's implied that us three are in there.
First of all, I'm a businessman. I won't be fighting any gorillas.
Oh no, you're in there with us. You're in there with us. The objective is going.
I'm letting you know right now. But no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Well, I beg to differ because here's what Sean.
I've strategically placed this to watch this, not to participate.
Here's what Sean said. Sean texted me. He said, "Coop, because I would like to see the gorilla knock his glasses off." So you was his first pick. His second pick was Jay-Z. He said because a camel versus a gorilla would be nuts, right? It's number 3 pick.
This is why we can't have things. This is why we can't have things. This is why we can't.
Wait for it. His next pick, Rick Ross. Just because I'd like to see the gorilla slam Rick Ross, scoop and slam Rick Ross in the dirt.
He's not trying to win. These are petty wars for Sean. These are petty. His
next one. I kind of raised the eyebrow at this, but whatever. He said, "Cool Herc for old man strength."
No, Herc is big. Herc is a big guy. I like that.
And then his last pick was Kanye, and he said, "Just because." But I roll with the Kanye pick because somebody got to be mentally unstable enough to be the first one to go at the gorilla. So I think it served its purpose.
Oh, God. So much to teach you guys.
What say you? Who are you drafting to the cause? Those are Sean's picks. So we're on number 8. So we got to get to 100, man. So who you got?
For basketball players, I have Shaq.
Okay, we'll just go one at a time. We just go. You draft one, I draft one.
Yep.
Tell us why you pick a Shaq.
Okay, see, unlike Sean, who's trying to be petty and get people fucked up for a living and fucked up for life, I actually want this gorilla to go down. Right. Yeah, gorilla's going down. Going down. I feel tried in these streets by this gorilla. And so I'm going to take 7-1-3-20. Yeah. Shaquille O'Neal, 7-1-3-20. And also, too, I tried to think about this. I tried to think of people who aren't just big and strong, but have a little mean streak to him. Like, Shaq had a mean streak to him. People forget that. Like, he's a big, lovable guy. But Shaq would, toss David Robinson and Tim Duncan around like they was a fabric softener sheet. You know what I'm saying? Like, get in the dryer, little nigga. You know what I mean? So people forget that part of Shaq. Be like, hold on, nigga, get in the dryer. So that's the Shaq that I remember that we're going to need to beat the gorilla. So Shaquille O'Neal is my first pick.
Shaq is needed. He was on my list too, but you picked him up. So I'm glad you got him on our squad. So Coop, I'm gonna ask you this, right? You remember the infamous scene on Scarface where Tony had snorted that mound of coke and was able to take all them bullets, right?
Okay, so first of all, and people need to understand this, the cocaine doesn't help you take the bullets. Just so we're clear. If you take that amount of cocaine, it's not going to help you absorb the bullets. It's a film. You have to explain because these punk ass kids don't know anything.
Well, here's the thing. Not myself, but everybody on my team, I need to be on 10. I need them amped up to feel like they could take on the gorilla, right? So I'm drafting Pusha T Because what I need Pusha T to do is like some pixie dust, just like kind of blow, you know what I'm saying, coke, and get everybody, get everybody amped up so they can at least feel like they could take on the gorilla, even if it's not the reality. So I'm drafting Pusha T.
So so we have some fundamental issues with how the team is run already. So you want us to fight a gorilla with the people that we have selected, quite frankly, being fucked up on narcotics and cocaine.
I mean, what else is going to make you have the mindset that you can take a gorilla?
I just want to make sure that we're clear that that's what's going on. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
I mean, I'm not mad at you. I'm just
just
trying to be clear
processing.
that that's what's going on. Is that what's going on?
You got next pick. Who we got?
That's wild. Okay. So, I really don't know what to tell you. Is it my turn to pick again?
Yeah, it's your turn.
My turn?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to stick with a basketball player. We're going to take Wilt Chamberlain for much of the same reasons that we took Shaq, AG.
He fought Conan.
AG, give me 1 second, because you're actually not showing at all on my screen, and I'm having to watch on the backup screen and wait for the delay to get to you. So I'm going to jump back in, but I'm taking Wilt right now, okay?
Okay.
Same reasons I took Shaq. There you go. Oh, shit. Hello?
Oh, am I good now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wilt fought Conan, bro.
Huh?
Wilt fought Conan, the barbarian.
Look, man. Wilt also fought every sexually transmitted disease and came out clean on top, okay? You need people like that. People that's not going to catch typhoid fever, cholera, smallpox. You don't know what's going to happen when this gorilla bites you. Wilt Chamberlain.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, he Wilt still.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is a numbers game, right? So with the next pick, just for the sake of it, I'm taking the entire Wu-Tang Clan. So we gonna take the 10-man clan. Yo, I'm telling RZA to bring all the pointy rings, all the fangs. You know what I'm saying? In case you gotta bite the gorilla, like what by any means necessary, whatever you gotta do. Bring the pointy rings, punch a hole in his palm with these pointy ass rings. Is that what he said? So, yo,
first of all, everybody in Wu-Tang is probably getting their ass kicked except for Deck and Meth. All right.
But they can work together better than everybody. They're a group.
Are you sure that they're going to work well together? That hasn't happened in a long time.
Not totally sure, but I want them on my team.
That's cool. Did the Knicks actually win a basketball game that mattered? Did the Knicks win tonight? Did the Knicks win, AG?
Oh, I don't know. It was live when we was going on. Where they
Oh yeah, the other game's on. Yeah,
if they won, they closed out.
Oh, they did? They closed out?
Yeah, because it was up 3-2.
Yeah, they're going home next round anyway. It doesn't matter. Typical Knicks stuff. Welcome to the second round of the playoffs with your New York Knicks. All right. So
we at 21.
My number 3 pick, AG. You're gonna like this, Anthony Mason.
We definitely needed him. I thought about him.
Yeah, we need Anthony Mason. Oh, trust me, I had a run-in with Anthony Mason once. He almost hurt me real bad.
I remember you telling me about that.
No, it's not a joke. People act like that didn't happen. They like that didn't happen. It's like, no, nigga, that happened. It's like, no, I'll never forget. Like, because sometimes I wake up and I'm like, oh yeah, Anthony Mason tried to snatch me up one time. It's like, make sure that never happens again. It's different when a 6'7" nigga is reaching down for you. It really does happen in slow time because his arms are so long. Like it really does happen in like slow motion. It's like, oh my god. It's like this. Oh, it's like, oh no, it's going towards me. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, rest in peace, Anthony Mason. I'm glad you bring up like long arms because I'm gonna go with the 7'7" Manute Bol because of the wingspan. You know what I mean? Because
he's just too frail. AG, he's literally gonna get flung.
But he can stand back. You ever play Street Fighter with Doslim? Like it'd be like Doslim fighting Blanca. Like he could just stand back.
Okay,
and just tag the gorilla.
If we need to sprinkle some of Pusha T's magic pixie dust into the gorilla's eyes, maybe that's what we'll use Manute Bol for. To sprinkle some dust into the.
No, because we ain't trying to amp up the gorilla. I got something for that though. I got something for that.
Wild that you're saying this. Okay. Next, sticking with NBA players, Arvydas Sabonis.
That's a good pick. I ain't think about that.
Yeah, 7'3", about 340. See, what we gonna do is we gonna snatch this gorilla up and hold this gorilla, and then we are literally gonna tear this gorilla limb from limb.
Facts. So, but we need to give ourselves an advantage, right? To be able to do that. So I'm going to draft Diddy, right? Because you can't have weapons, but he could put down a lot of baby oil. And then if the gorilla rushes, he might slip and fall. And then everybody can jump on the gorilla and just beat him up. That's how we get the W. So I'm going to draft Diddy.
See, I knew that I was gonna have to come up with a list of serious options because I was dealing with you and Sean. And so I knew that there were going to
Wait,
be
Sean's
people that
not
were
even
going to
here.
right. No. Sean and his crappy little list provided 8 people for this part for his crappy section of the list. It was crappy choices.
I'm just trying to create us an advantage, Coop.
Huh. Try harder. Pick number 5. She keeps calling himself a silverback gorilla.
Sheik is a big dude.
She keeps calling himself a silverback gorilla. We're about to find out. I'm taking Sheik Luch at number 5.
Yeah, Sheik a big dude. I actually met Sheik when I was in high school at a concert, man. Sheik, good size dude, man. He come in handy in the brawl for real. You said to set the gorilla off a little bit. I'm drafting Snoop Dogg just to smoke clouds just to get the gorilla high. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely need a diversion. We definitely need a diversion to beat the gorilla. Snoop Dogg's Cannabis Sativa is better than Pusha T's Magic Pixie Dust.
No, that's for our team. That's for our team to amp us. That's for us.
We're gonna be the first people to catch the Rico trying to kill a gorilla. Thanks, AG. Fuck. Be like, what happened? Be like, Armand, were you involved in this? Were you part of Hip Hop Talks? Did you do the segment with AG? Did he show up with the pixie dust? Did your friends have a good time? Did you have a good time?
You remember on like
he told you about this shit.
You remember on Breaking? Yo, you remember on Breaking when they be break dance and they pop lock and they blow in your face?
First of all, motherfucker blowing my face, getting punched in the face. That's exactly how that shit goes.
Yo. Exactly how that goes. Oh my god, this is hilarious. All right, who you got next up, Coop?
I got Charles Oakley.
Another Nick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got to be good for something. They're not good at winning championships, but they are good for bullying people.
Yeah. We at 20. We at 28. I'm gonna go with Queens Get the Money. Ron Artest.
Oh, I like that pick.
You gotta have somebody that's a little bit off. You know what I'm saying? He would be the first to rush the gorilla, I believe.
Absolutely. He would actually give the gorilla a good fight. Okay, I'm gonna go a step further. I got Yao Ming. Yep, yeah, I do.
Oh yeah, I got a big ass head.
Mm-hmm. Big head, big arms, big feet.
Yeah, man. Listen. All right, my next pick. I'm gonna go back to the rappers. I'm gonna draft Slick Rick because if we all die and he's left alive, he'd be the best equipped to chronicle. He's the best storyteller ever, right? So he could tell about all our deaths and make it comical. And
see, I'm treating it like we're going live on CNN when we're done with the gorilla chained up, and America gets to watch us torture the gorilla live.
But who's going to tell our story if we die, Coop?
It's going to be on CNN one of us live. Left. See, I, as a general, do not think about loss. All I see is victory. That's all I see. All I see is victory. All I see is victory for me and my tribe. And we're going to put this motherfucker up on CNN. And we're going to tear him limb for limb after we tie him up. We're going to get this motherfucker. He done played with the wrong one today. He played with the wrong one.
Who else you got?
Ray Lewis. Give me Ray Lewis.
Oh, hell of a pick.
That's right.
Let's stay in that bag. Give me LT, Lawrence Taylor.
Scratch him off my list. He's on my list. You want to stay there? I got one for you. We gonna need somebody to run the gorilla over. Give me Earl Campbell. Somebody got to run the gorilla over.
I got somebody who can run up the gorilla's back, Bo Jackson, like he did the wall for the Royals.
Okay, I like Bo Jackson. Okay, He keep calling himself Superman his whole career. Give me Cam Newton.
Cam Newton took on like 6 cats by himself, so I think he would be
In real
good to play.
time. In real time. That wasn't AI generated. That was Cam Newton
Yeah.
literally holding 6 people off.
All right. I'm going back to the rappers. Give me the head of the G Unit, the Gorilla Unit. Give me 50 Cent, man. I think 50 Cent would be good in a fight.
All right. I'm gonna see your G Unit, and I'm gonna give you a castaway. Give me Game. Yeah.
Game is definitely unstable and would be good in a fight.
And he's 6'5". And he's been shot a couple times, so he's got a tick.
Word. Yo, give me Big Hit, man. Big Hit was locked down for a while, man. I think he'd be good. I think he'd could go at the Gorilla. Big Hit got a lot of energy. Give me Big Hit.
Those are old school gang signs getting thrown up. I don't even know if they throw those gang signs up anymore. Those are new.
All right, man. Big Hit. I think he'd be good to fight, man. Give me Big Hit.
That's fine. You want to know what, man? Give me 8 Ball from 8 Ball and MJG.
All right. I'm gonna go a 2 for 1 here. Give me MOP. Billy Dan's Little Fame. Give me MOP, man.
I like that. Annie up on these niggas. I know.
Oh yeah, somebody got to get his hype, right?
Look here, man. When your nickname is Biggie, you fighting a gorilla. The Notorious B.I.G. When your nickname's Biggie, you fighting a gorilla. Yeah, you are.
Oh no, man. Biggie get out of breath, man.
I don't give a damn. I'm not that kind of general.
Right. I got one for you. Bumpy Nuts, Freddie Fox.
Oh, I like that.
That.
I do like that.
We taking the gorilla down, I'm trying to tell you.
Okay. I don't know exactly what you're doing to take the gorilla down. All right, I'm going back. Let me get back in my basketball bag right quick. Somebody that you may not know too well, but he's 7'4". Mark Eaton.
Mm-hmm. Oh, of course I know Mark Eaton.
Mark Eaton, remember Mark Eaton? Yeah.
Redhead Mark Eaton, yeah.
Yeah. Big 7'4", country ass, averaged like 7 blocks 1 year. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Eaton. Well, while we here with the big white dudes, give me Rick Smits. Give me Rick.
Look here, I see your big ass foreign white boy, and I'll give you a homegrown country white boy. Give me Bryant Big Country Reeves.
Bryant Reeves.
All right.
I think we might beat this gorilla, man.
Putting a lot of white boys out the pasture. These white boys are gonna kill this gorilla. They've been killing niggas for years. They're used to this.
Yo, let me get another unhinged dude. Let me get Pat Bev.
Not Pat Bev. He's gonna get swung like a rag doll for real. Give me
somebody got to though.
That's cool. You want to know what? Give me Moses Malone.
4. Huh. Give me Draymond.
Good. I hope somebody do finally get rid of Draymond. Give me Robert Tractor Trailer, AG.
Rest in peace.
Remember Tractor Trailer?
Yep.
Any nigga that's called Tractor Trailer is going to fight a gorilla if we need him to. Period.
Yo, that's Michigan. So, I'm a Michigan fan, so let's keep it in that bag. I'm going to draft Chris Webber in case we need to call a timeout and regroup.
Okay, that timeout won't be available, and the gorilla's going to get a technical foul. But anyway,
and I can say that, Joe, because I'm a Michigan fan.
Give me Karl Malone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give me Barkley.
I'm about to say, Barkley's on my list too. Look. If the gorilla is under 15 years old, Karl Malone might just try to sleep with the gorilla anyway. So that's really
if Wilt or Diddy didn't get to him first. Oh man! All right, so you up next? I said Barkley.
Okay, give me Larry Allen, left tackle for the Cowboys.
I rock with it. Yo, I'm gonna go back to rappers. You talk about being a general. I think Tupac could give like a General Patton style speech and get us all amped up to fight the gorilla.
I had Tupac down actually. Tupac is actually down.
Yeah, and Pac took 11 bullets total. So I mean, he
definitely been shot up a lot. He's definitely gonna survive the war.
Yeah,
it's proven that you can shoot him multiple times and he is still gonna find a way to breathe.
Yep.
Definitely need niggas like that. Okay.
We over halfway. We at 56, man. We gotta get the rest of this squad.
Rob Gronkowski. Give me Gronk.
I like it. I'm gonna pick Busta Rhymes, man, because I feel like he'd wear all leather all leather outfit with a yellow hat, like a yellow leather with a yellow hat, and he would be like a diversion, like the gorilla would think was a big ass banana or something. So he'd be a diversion for the rest of us. So I'm
That
drafting Busta.
that is hilarious. Give me Jonathan Ogden. Somebody has to be stable around here while you're out here just picking all sorts
I
of
got
rappers left,
strategies,
brother.
cool.
I don't know if these
Got
strategies are going to
strategy.
work. It's very, 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 very problematic how you're picking.
Let me get
You're picking for fun. I'm picking to win.
let me get Refrigerator Perry.
I had Fridge on my list. Fridge is on the list. Give me Mean Joe Green.
I like it.
I love it.
Oh man, I'm tripping. Give me Dennis Rodman.
He's on the list. On the list. All right. Give me actually, oh, hold on. Sean already picked Rick Ross. Give me Gravy. That's right. All
All
you
right.
big niggas, all you big niggas coming out to play. You're not gonna hide anymore. There'll be no more
All right.
ribs anymore running for you.
Let me get Rick Mahorn.
I like Rick Mahorn. I'll see your Rick Mahorn with a Bill Lambier.
We need him.
You can bring all the bad boys. Get all of them. Got
Let me
the six.
see. Um, hmm. Try to keep it back in the hip hop. Let me see who I want out there. Give me the Broad Street Bully. Bing.
Baines. Give me Conway the Machine. He's been traumatized, so if the gorilla hurts him, he'll help everybody heal. He'd be like, look, it's not as bad as getting shot in the face.
Hey, give me West Side Gun just for the sound effects when we, you know, what I'm
Boom,
saying,
boom, boom,
lumping
boom,
up the
boom.
yeah,
Boom, 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 boom,
yeah, we need that.
boom.
Doop, 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 doop. Yeah, we need that.
Boom. Be like, be like, so West Side, did you help kill the real? Yeah. So we pulled up with the team and do, boom, 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 boom.
That would be the CNN interview after
Look,
we
pray to
win.
Europe. Good night. Like, oh, okay, nigga. Go to my art
He,
gallery.
he would actually wear the Gorilla's coat to Fashion Week after we won.
He would probably hang the gorilla's coat in his art gallery and say, Fashion Week, Buffalo, this year. All right. Nate Thurman. Give me Nate Thurman.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Give me Chocolate Thunder, Daryl Dawkins. He
Give
was
me
breaking
X-Man.
backwards.
Give me X-Man, Xavier McDaniel.
Okay. I like that pick.
Yeah.
Let me see.
We're getting close.
Yeah, man, we only need 30 more people.
Your turn.
I'm going to see. I thought the chat would be putting some people out there. Let me
Man, this
see.
chat
Let me get.
sucks, man. They're not doing anything. They're not down for this cause.
Let me. Wild card picks. We haven't even used our wild card picks. All right, my first wild card pick is going to be Prime Kimbo Slice.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going a little bit back further in history than you are. All right. I'm taking Attila the Hun for my first one. Yeah, we getting some generals up in here. We getting some black generals. To quote my cousin M6, call me Tilla the Hun when I'm peeling them guns. All right?
Yeah,
Tilla the Hun. Yeah, Tilla the Hun.
I'm gonna go with The Rock.
Okay. I got somebody that went through a bunch of rocks. Give me Hannibal. Right. I'm taking all the black generals. All right.
Yeah. Let me get Tyson, man. You know what I'm saying? He bite the gorilla's ear if he got to.
Okay, I thought about that. We'll get into that in a second. Give me somebody that might know how to actually kill a gorilla. Give me Genghis Khan. Told you, it's getting gangster for this gorilla. It's gonna have a
Yeah.
problem. I got some OGs coming. See, I got some people coming, Attila the Hun, Hannibal, and Genghis Khan, that have seen the gorilla before. It's gonna be like, oh, we just killing the gorilla. See, they
That's
not
all
gonna
we
be
doing.
surprised. They're not going
Yeah.
to be shook by the gorilla. That's going to empower the rest of the team. Be like, hey, they're not scared of the gorilla. Be like, Tilla the Hun going to be like, I, I killed 4 gorillas before I went and killed 500 crackers in the
Yo,
Swiss House. Yeah, I did. Come on, let's go.
I'm a draft. As my wild card, another wild card is our homie from the Discord, Iron Myers. You seen his profile pic? Iran looked like he could fight a gorilla.
Okay.
So I'm drafting Iran to be in there with us.
Okay.
Shout out to Iran.
I'm gonna fight somebody. I'm gonna pick somebody that actually looked as big as the gorilla, and that's give me actually a prime George Foreman, because we gonna
I
break this
love
gorilla
George Foreman
ribs.
pick.
Yeah, we gonna break his ribs. Give me 1973 George Foreman.
Yeah. I'm taking Bruce Lee.
Oh, I like the Bruce Lee pick. The Bruce Lee pick is hard.
Yep.
That is a very, very gangster move.
Yeah, like 6-inch punch right in the gorilla's chest might take him out.
Right, just little death blow.
Yeah, I mean. And in Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying? Get Bruce hype.
Okay. My last pick, Donald Trump. He's killed everything else, so I figure he can kill the gorilla too. He's killed everything.
That's crazy. I'm surprised you didn't pick Frazier.
No.
But Foreman is a better pick.
I thought about Frazier, but I'd just be using Frazier for the uppercut, and then there's just the fact that George Foreman really whooped Joe Frazier's ass really, really bad one time.
He did. And neither one of us picked Muhammad Ali to trash talk him, but I got Tyson. So, all right, we at 81, man. We're closing in. So I'm staying in the hip hop realm. Give me Suge Knight, Marion Suge Knight.
I like the Suge pick. I'm picking country ass white boys to be pawns on the front line. Give me Greg Oyster Tag.
Oyster Tag is wild. Oh my God. Oyster Tag is wild. Man, let's see who else I got. Give me Sticky Fingers, man.
Okay. Give me Jack Lambert.
Okay.
Yeah, we need some psychos.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Prime Howie Long.
Ooh. I like that pick. Give me a combo. Give me the Kelsey brothers. Give me a couple.
I like
Kelsey.
it.
I'll take
like
a couple.
it.
Give me a couple Kelseys.
I mean, if we was on some King Kong and then, you know what I'm saying, the Gorilla had like Taylor Swift him up, I think Travis Kelce would come through.
And Jason would support his little brother.
Save his girl, you know. Give me the Boz, Brian Bosworth.
Well, not the Boz. No. See, we can't trust him around Pusha T. That's the problem. See, him and Pusha T gonna have to be on opposite.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
They're gonna have to be on opposite sides. Oh, of the team. Okay. I'm sorry. Give me Haloti Nada.
All right.
Yeah. I need somebody to sit on the gorilla once we get him down and keep him there.
Give me Mutombo. I feel like Mutombo could, like, you know what I'm saying, speak to the gorilla in a native tongue or something and then get him to chill a little bit.
I mean, give me Big Ben, just because I feel like afterwards he'll be the one to, you know, console the gorilla in the bathroom at a bar and make the gorilla feel good. All right.
You mentioned this guy earlier in the show, Rasheed Wallace.
Who?
Rasheed Wallace.
Oh, yeah. Give me Deacon Jones.
Give me Ben Wallace.
I was actually thinking that was actually going to be my next pick.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Where do I want to go? I feel like we've covered a lot of basketball. We've covered a lot of football. We've covered our guest picks. How many more picks do we have left, AG? Like, how many more people do
we need 6 more people, bro.
Oh, we fucking this gorilla up. Okay. This gorilla goes chance. All right. Let me see. We're down to our last few. Let me have. Mm, mm, ooh, no. Stuck. I'm having a little writer's block, AG. I got a list of people. You want to know what? Give me George Kittle.
I like it.
I like Kittle.
I'm
He was
taking
hype.
Lupe can wield a katana, so he got to be able to do something with his hands.
Okay, I want Lupe to go too, but just for totally different reasons. We're gonna put Lupe in the front.
Oh god, that is hilarious.
Look, we just gonna rub Lupe down with a little ribeye before. Be like, here, this will help heal your bones after.
Oh man,
Oh
yeah,
god.
we just got a few more picks, bro. We got 4 more.
Okay, I'm just trying to think about some more white guys that I can put
Nah, don't do that. You wild, bro. We gotta make these count. We gotta make these count.
No, we need people who
What
matter.
about the Admiral?
He's too lanky, too skinny. He's very strong. It's not strong enough though.
Pat?
No.
Mm.
Ooh, Vince Wilford. Give me Vince
Okay.
Wilford. Give me Vince Wilford. We could use a little bit more depth up front. We need a little bit more depth up front. Give me Vince Wilford.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man. Let me see. Ooh, give me Beast Mode.
I like the Marshawn pick. It's very Earl Campbell like. Modern day Earl Campbell.
Yeah,
Okay.
we definitely taking the gorilla out.
Ooh. Craig Ironhead Hayward.
Ironhead Hayward, that's a good pick.
Ironhead Hayward. Yeah. Because then when we hold them up, see, we can just see after George Foreman hit him a couple times and we run into him with Ironhead and Earl Campbell and Marshawn, it's going to be lights out. It's going to be murder, she wrote.
And with the last pick, I'm gonna honor, you know what I'm saying, somebody who we talked about earlier who was a little dude but was great at selling wolf tickets, as the old folks called it. And I'm gonna draft Prodigy to, you know what I'm saying, stab his brain with his nose bone when he hit the gorilla.
I thought about picking Prodigy, but I think your favorite pick of mine was the Bruce Lee pick. The Bruce Lee pick was the gangster pick of the Rams.
Oh no, we need him. We need him for sure.
Yeah, because here's the thing: when we actually get the gorilla down, we can probably just get Bruce to go in and it's a wrap.
Oh yeah, Combo
Gorilla.
City.
Yeah.
Yo, so
Gorilla.
yo, that's our list. You heard it here first from Hip Hop Talks. That's 100 people that could take down the gorilla. I don't know who's gonna be casualties, but that 100 is definitely beating the gorilla.
I don't like that I made Sean's list and that I'm in this list and that I'm part of this and that my life is in danger.
Well, I'm in there too. It was implied that we all was in there, but Sean made it a point to say that you was going to be.
Okay, that's fine. As soon as I make it out of this alive, the first thing I'm doing is going to find Sean. That'll be the first order of business. It's like stop, get some street tacos, fill a car with gas, go see Sean motherfucking ass.
Oh no! Can I rescind the pick? Can I rescind one pick? I need to rescind. I'm gonna rescind my Matumbo pick and trade him out for the dog DMX. I feel like DMX, he's a dog whisperer. I feel like he could be the gorilla whisperer too. You know what I'm saying?
Or he just might bite the gorilla's leg while we get the gorilla down.
I feel like he'd be more valuable than Matumbo though.
I don't trust DMX around Pusha T either. The Pusha T picks a
All
problem.
right, man. See, then you gotta be disrespectful. All right. Like, subscribe, share. This been Hip Hop Talk. I think Pusha T was my first pick.
Yeah, Pusha T picks a big problem for me because of some of the people that you're picking.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yo, dope show tonight, man. Y'all like, subscribe, share, man. Next week we'll be back at full strength, more than likely, with the homie Sean. And we appreciate everybody pulling up tonight, man. We just want to do this little fun segment. Everything ain't got to be like all serious hip hop debates. You know what I'm saying? We want to do something a little lighthearted, a little fun. So We appreciate y'all.
Everybody have a good night. Click like, share, subscribe to the page. This has been another episode of Hip Hop Talks. We will see y'all next Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Unwrapped with Coop, Stoop Stories, coming soon. Mirror Music with me and Andrew. Deontay Hitchcock episode just loaded. More episodes loading soon. See you all this summer.
Peace.
Peace.